Tonight's broadcast is made possible by Strack & Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. Ironworkers Local 395, proud to be union. Four Seasons Mechanical, quality and comfort is our guarantee. Boilermakers Local 374, earn while you learn. IBEW Local 697, proud to support high school sports. Bricklayers Local 4, the best hands in the business. Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. The Right Group, the right way to buy and sell real estate. Mark Macknick, Chicagoland Tax Professionals. Blythe's Team Sports, where the athlete shops. And Hampton Inn, downtown Indianapolis. This is the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network. We come to you today from Chesterton High School as the Region Sports Network presents live video coverage of the Indiana High School boys basketball tournament as the Valparaiso Vikings come into town to take on the Chesterton Trojans in the Class 4A Sectional Number 2 Championship. Michael Brenner here on site in Chesterton, along with the great Wally McCormick. Wally, great to be with you as my analyst today. Going to be a fun one. Always fun to crown sectional champions, let alone when you have a team that can potentially do it on their own home floor.
Yeah, and you know the rivalry that exists between the two schools makes this one special. It's something that's happened a whole lot of times throughout the two programs' history, and you know recently Valpo and Chesterton played in the sectional in 2020. Valpo won. 2021, Valpo won. 2022, Chesterton won the sectional, but they didn't play each other. 2023, they played. 2024, Portage, or 25 was the year Portage, snuck through there and won that thing. So this is, they play each other around the second to the last game of the regular season. They're very familiar with each other, obviously. The schools are 5 minutes apart. It should be a good one. Yeah,
this rivalry is like none other. There's good rivalries in Northwest Indiana, but this one is certainly up there in terms of the intensity and the knowledge of each other. You talk about kind of the last few years. I can go back all the way to 1926. Valparaiso has the edge in this series, at least in the postseason, 43-6. And in those games of championship games for sectionals, 14-3. So if you're looking at the history aspect, because you and I are both history guys, if you look at the history aspect, Valparaiso has this, but that's not really what's going to get it done. It's what's currently on the floor right now.
Yeah, because Rob and Roger Harden and Hummel and Bryce Drew and those guys aren't running out on the floor today.
And Mark Urban's happy about that.
Yeah, everybody in Chesterton's happy about that. Valparaiso won the sectional darn near every year from the time I was born till the time I was senior in high school. And the
54 sectional championships.
The team that snuck through and won it that year was Fred Mitchell coached Chesterton Trojans in 1986 with Mark Massa and Matt Nover and some of those guys. So, since Herb's been here, the rivalry is, from an intensity standpoint, has picked up a little bit when Coach Kuhlman was here. And, it's cool. Like, two schools dislike each other, the rivals, whatever, but at the end of the day, they do things right. Their coaches are good people. Their kids are good kids. Our kids play summer baseball, summer basketball with them, but today, this is the biggest thing that's going on, and no better game if you're a Chesterton or a Valpo student than to come to the sectional finals, no matter what sport it is.
Yeah, we got sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. We got other good matchups around Lake County as well and Porter County as well. You got over at Crown Point, you got Lake Central and Crown Point. How about Lake Central knocking off one of their big rivals in the Munster Mustangs last night on a big three-quarters court heave?
Yeah, amazing. Well, we didn't see those. We saw two pretty solid games here, two pretty close games that got away a little bit at the end.
Valparaiso defeating Hobart to move on, and Chesterton beating the conference opponent in the Maryville Pirates to advance to the sectional championship game as we get to tune you in to our national anthem.
What so proudly we hailed
Great rendition of the national anthem. I don't know what else might get you pumped up for a game than a great rendition of the national anthem. But sectional champions will be crowned this evening all around the state of Indiana. This is sectional number 2. And we're going to get ready to introduce our starting lineups. And just like everywhere else almost in Northwest Indiana, what feels like the NBA style with the lights and the video boards and fun stuff as we give you the starting lineups here for the Valparaiso Vikings. First onto the floor, the 5'10 senior Levon Redmond, along with the 6-foot sophomore, number 3, J.J. Jankowski. And now the 6'1 senior, number 4, Michael Reeves, hits the floor. Next will be the 6'8 junior. That'll be number 13, Maddox Wagner. And then finally the 6'9 senior, number 33, Corbin McConaughey. Ben Liskey, the head coach of the Valparaiso Vikings, just a couple of years at the helm for him, but certainly a lot of history with this program that he is very much aware of. And now we're going to take a look at the starting lineup for the Chesterton Trojans. First onto the floor, number 45, the 6'8 senior, Caden Schneider. Next out onto the floor is number 22, the 6'8 sophomore, Bradley Basila. And now here comes the 6-foot junior, number 3, TJ Ray. Next out of the floor, this is the 6'2 senior, number 14, Jalen Watts. And finally, the 6'4 senior, number 5, Logan Picorni. So those are your starting lineups for the Valparaiso Vikings and the Chesterton Trojans as we get set for action here from Chesterton. Our officials for this evening, Dave Uran, Steve Klein, and Brian Lockmundy. Our game night forecast brought to you by our friends at Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. It is a balmy 45 degrees, but temperatures are red hot inside Chesterton. That is your game night forecast brought to you by our friends at Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cozy in the summer, keeping you cozy in the winter and cool in the summer. And the tip goes out of bounds, and they're going to say...
That's 2 nights in a row.
2 nights in a row the ball goes out of bounds.
So we got a special shout-out to Chesterton strength coach Matt Wagner.
Oh, okay.
Bradley's getting stronger.
Whacking it out of bounds. So it'll be Valparaiso ball to start things up.
Yep.
And Redmond will begin with it.
Chesterton coming out in their traditional man-to-man defense. They'll play man the entire night. Valpo will switch it up a little bit, but Chesterton's predominantly a man defensive team.
You didn't want to work on your Bill Raftery earlier and do it.
The key thing here for Valparaiso is, one, keeping Magnus Wagner on the floor. He's been in foul trouble much of the last, or definitely last night, but the last 2 times I saw him play, and he spent more time sitting on the bench next to the coach yesterday, and Valpo's a lot better when he's on the floor.
Can you real quick explain, we had a little bit of a loss there by Wagner. He kind of lost it, was able to regather. That's not a travel. Can you maybe explain what the rule is on that?
And it's who knows? I mean, I think they said it was a tip, so he regathered. Valpo coming out in a 2-3.
And a 3, by the way, for number 3, TJ Ray to get things started.
And the first time they played, Chesterton hit about 23s. Valpo got out of that zone early because Chesterton started out. Logan Picorni hit 5 in the first quarter. McConaughey played a really good game last night. Wagner likes to go over his right shoulder. He's a lefty, and he loves to go that direction.
Stolen away. Picorni goes up. A little too strong on the glass, though.
Yeah, McConaughey didn't get the block, but he altered the shot, and he does that a lot.
This one poked away. Now this time to Watts, and Watts going to go up and lay this one in. You thought he was going to get a little bit of air on that one?
Yeah, he missed one a couple weeks ago, and Coach Urban didn't like it. So,
little thought before doing it, I guess. This one on the hook shot. from McConkey.
Yeah, for Valpo, that's a pretty good shot, right? They got it in deep.
Yeah, just got to finish on those. Skip pass back outside. Now trying to feed it into Schneider here. Skip pass back outside. Picorni for three, no good. And on the box out, McConkey gets the rebound.
He's long.
A lot of height in this matchup here tonight.
We got four, 6, 8 guys on the floor right now, allegedly, according to the program.
Well, when I stood next to them, they were all taller than me, so I can attest that they are taller than 6 foot. 3-point shot on the way for Valpo, just off the mark to the right.
And I don't know that that's what Ben Liskey's looking for in their half-court offense is their, an early three-pointer.
Picorni feeding it up to TJ Ray here at the top of the key, who's going to draw up the play.
Yeah, so I look out of this set for Chesterton to end up with some sort of a high-low here.
This one tipped out of bounds, and it'll go to the scorer's table, but it was actually saved by Schneider before it can get all the way to the scorer's table. Not a lot of room between that scorer's table and the end line there. Is this one dunked in, two-handed for Basila.
Good start for Chesterton.
7-0 run to start things up for the Trojans.
Valpo's got to weather the storm here. Last time they played, the first quarter was very difficult.
Trying to answer there after the shot from Jankowski.
And it was a good take, good dish by Wagner.
Now going for a three this time.
Jankowski, heat check.
Heat check. He's on a 5-0 run.
There you go. And that's something they're going to need. They're going to need somebody besides Wagner to score today in this game.
Feeding into the corner, now back to the top of the key with Ray. Now feeding down in that high-low action that you were talking about. Had it blocked up top, though. This one blocked again. A couple of blocks for Wagner and McConkey.
Well, they're going to let him play. That's what it looks like.
Redmond pulls up for three, and he connects, and just like that, it is a 1-point lead for the Vikings.
Every time I've seen him play, that kid, he's tough. And you see the middle of this 2-3 is Chesterton is going to eventually end up putting somebody in the high post there.
So we saw a 7-0 run for Chesterton to start things up, an 8-0 run to start things up for the Valparaiso Vikings as an answer, and now Picorni gets in the scoring column with his first 2 points. Back and forth we go. We'll have a foul inside here away from the ball. And it'll be against Wagner for the first foul of the game.
I think they call him for a moving screen, and that's something to monitor because he had a difficult time last night staying in the game with foul trouble. So I think part of the reason that Valpo plays a lot of 2-3 is because they got 2 bigs and they don't want to end up in a situation where they're guarding guys on the perimeter. Wagner may get another one right now as him and Picorni are doing a little dance in the corner.
Yeah, there was some checking going on. As Gunnar Ello has checked into the game for the Vikings. I'm sorry, for the Trojans.
And he's given them a lot of really good minutes during the season and did so in both sectional games so far. So
trying to drive the lane, kicks it out, long range shot, and knocks it down. TJ Ray, 2 triples in the game. That time was from Valpo.
And TJ is a pass-first guy, but he's more than capable of scoring. He's a really good shooter. It's just not been his role on the team a lot this year, but on a given night, he can come out and get hot.
Down to 2:40 left to go in this opening quarter. And we knew it was going to be a physical contest. These are bitter rivals, if you will. The respect level is there. These guys know each other, play each other in summer ball and all season long in travel leagues and as they were growing up. These guys know each other, but there's a pride factor here for Valparaiso and Chesterton. Nobody wants to be on that losing end in this rivalry.
Yeah, and at sectionals it's different too because there's a group of seniors that are going to have to turn their gear in after the game when somebody loses.
Redmond trying to go coast to coast, goes to the window and puts it in.
TJ Ray opted to just stay vertical and, kind of contest the shot. And Redmond does a nice job finishing.
Chesterton had this one poked away in the middle, intercepted as Michael Reeves comes up with it. Reeves dishes off to Wagner in the corner, pulls up for 3, hits the iron, no good. Rebound coming down to Basila, who will give it up to Ray.
If you're Chesterton, you'll take Valpo shooting a one-pass three off the break all night long.
Rebounding is going to be a factor in here. This one blocked up top by Wagner. Urban wanting a foul, didn't get it.
Yeah, he didn't get fouled. He blocked that one up pretty high. And, one of the things that they do a nice job of is McConaughey staying on his feet and not going up in the air, and Wagner coming over from the help side in order to get that one. Happened a couple times last night against Hobart.
Step back for three. And they are going to call the foul on Ello. A late call because Redmond fell. And, Ello was in the landing zone for sure. Ello was in the landing zone, but it was a late whistle.
I think that's the point of contention that everybody has is that's fine if you're going to call a foul. Call it when it happens.
And I have had officials that tell me that sometimes they'll kind of base it on if the shot is made or not, and that's where some people get that bone of contention.
And which is ridiculous to me.
You've heard it too, I'm sure.
It's either a foul or it isn't.
Yeah, and I'm not saying any one official, but I've heard multiple officials kind of tell me that.
And what I think sometimes happens is, one of these guys is far away. There's another guy closer. He's kind of waiting to see if the other guy's going to call it, and then he.
Oh, absolutely. And there's a little bit of a delay, but sometimes, some officials will wait, and everyone does things a little bit differently.
Yeah, Valpo did this a lot last night, where they take out McConaughey and they take out Wagner and bring in Davon Williams and number 35, Nas White. And these two guys aren't near as big, but they got after it, and they attacked the glass last night. And Nas White did a lot of really good things for him offensively.
And Redmond knocks all 3 free throws down. Pretty impressive for the senior. Gives them a 1-point lead again. Just over a minute to play here in this opening quarter.
Valpo switching, going to man-to-man.
Chesterton coming in 21-4 on the year. Coach Urban in his 10th season at the helm with the Chesterton Trojans. We got another foul here. And again, it's away from the ball.
Yeah, and that's Nas White and Gunnerello fighting for post position. And early in the game, the officials are going to try to set the tone for this is what we're going to accept and this is what we're not. And
trying to feed on the inbound. Ello gets the inbound on the baseline, and it's almost stolen away. And another foul here. We're going to have a push. Oh, no, they're going to call a jump ball. I thought I saw push initially.
Well, I thought he put a fist up. So, generally you could tell if he puts a fist up, it's going to be a foul. And
I was a little bit thrown off on that one.
I'm glad it's not a foul.
I didn't think it should be, but
it's a loose ball, 2 kids playing hard. So far, pretty clean first quarter, right? 3 fouls grand total.
Yeah, only 3 fouls, total in this game. And I believe the last foul he called on...
I think it was Nas White.
Might have been 30.
Yeah, 35.
35, okay, thank you. 3-shot put down for Ransom.
He's the wild card for Chesterton. When he comes in the game and gives them offense, it's a big plus for them. But he's so quick and athletic, he's getting the duties of chasing around Levon Redmond. Those two is a nice matchup when you look at them from a quickness standpoint. They're both 2 kids that play really hard.
Little miscommunication there for the Valparaiso Vikings, and I just, I was able to pick up one of the players saying, I can't hear. I can't hear what you're calling.
All right, so McConaughey's back in the game. So Valpo's going back to the 2-3. Lets him lurk in the lane a little bit. Lets their perimeter players play a little more aggressive because he's behind them to, kind of clean up things in the post. And
Chesterton going to wait for the final shot here of this opening quarter, and Redmond going crazy. Wait for somebody to move on the positions.
Yeah, and I think we got some people that are playing man, and we got some people that are playing zone.
Shot put up for Ray, and the first quarter will close like that. Ray with 3 triples. He wears number 3, and he hits 3s. We go to the second quarter. You're watching Game 9 of the Region Sports Network, the only game in town. Okay, the guy you worked with last night.
Have you heard? Stratton-Manteau was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Stratton-Manteau.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
We'd like to remind everyone that tonight's video stream is powered by Absolute Power Systems in Griffith, providing exceptional service for industrial engines, pumps, and generator power systems. For more info, visit AbsolutePowerSystems.com. Absolute Power Systems, powering your business absolutely. Start of the second quarter here at Chesterton. Redmond feeding into Wagner. Wagner going to the window, and then, you get the feeling with these guys for both teams that have the size, the 6'8", the 6'9". If you don't watch a lot of basketball in general, you're thinking, oh, these guys should be able to score at will. It's not that easy.
No, and he's a guy that he's left-handed. He likes to go left, so Chesterton's going to overplay him to that side, and that time he didn't care. He just went anyway. Both teams got their both bigs in right now, so obviously Valpo's going to sit here in this 2-3 to try to protect their bigs.
Watts trying for the three, hit it on the front rim. To Redmond. Coming back down in transition, waiting for his guys to get open, hands it off to McConaughey. And now we'll have a foul again away from the ball.
That's on Picorni.
And that's going to be, it's going to be a screen, an illegal screen.
Well, but he's trying to run through a screen, but he extended his arm and kind of caught him with a forearm up towards his shoulder. So that's a good call. And I get it, the defensively you want to bump cutters, right? Just don't let people run wherever they want to, but that was just running through a screen.
But I feel like all but maybe one foul so far in this game have been away from the ball as Reeves splashes one home.
Yeah, nice set play off the inbounds. Tie game, and if you're Valpo, you got to feel a lot better about things. Last time you played these guys, you were getting blown out at this point. So the fact that it's tied right now.
And this is going to be a foul on McConaughey, who's wrapped up around Basila. 7 threes made in this game already. That's one reason why Valparaiso is in this game. They've made 3 themselves, along with the 3 free throws from Redmond, which is just as good as a 3-point basket.
When Chesterton had a post opportunity there that time.
And this time.
It's funny to me. Everybody that puts a shooter out of bounds is running that inbounds play.
Right.
Or something to where he's coming back in and working off of a screen. Cooper Hewig into the game for Chesterton. Oh, that's a cheap one.
And we'll have a foul away from the ball, or going for the rebound.
Yep. He just earned some time next to coach. Picking up his second.
His second for Wagner.
Davon Williams played really well last night. Did a really nice job on the rebounding on both the offense and defensive end. So he'll be all right with him in.
So TJ Ray already with 12 points in this one. He's hit 3 triples. Feed down underneath, just a little too far into the basket, trying to face it or force his way out of it.
Yeah, Coop didn't want any part of McConaughey in the paint that time. He wasn't getting swatted. We'll just throw it back out.
Let's see how we can pass it on the baseline. Looking for Schneider.
And what happens right now is with Chesterton playing a lot of times in a 4-guard front, it makes one of those bottom guys in the 2-3 come up and guard a wing, which is why they've got a couple of wide open corner threes. So this time he's trying to full front Basilla, where last time he played behind him and he got called for the foul.
Well, it is no question that we've got two of the smartest coaches in Northwest Indiana for sure going at it.
And that's a good possession, a good shot by Gunner. He didn't make it. It's obviously good defense.
Yeah, Ello right there in position to try to put that one home, just couldn't finish. Redmond waiting for something to happen from the bench, waiting for a call, and now had this one stolen away by Basilla. Now into the corner with Picorni.
See, and anytime you can get one of those bottom guys to rotate out to a wing, then it gives you a corner.
The closeouts have to be quick on a guy like Ray. Otherwise, even from long range, as this one no good. This one tapped, and we'll have another foul here. This time it's going to be against the Trojans.
Yeah, and Gunnerello getting called for over the back, and he's unhappy with the call, but that's the same exact call that they called on Wagner at the other end of the floor. So I think both teams can live with the fact if the officials are calling it a certain way, then that's fine, but do it at both ends.
And that's what we've seen so far. So a 30-second timeout taken by the Trojans, who lead at 21-18. Don't forget, we got awards we're going to hand out at the end of this one. But the Crowell Company's Lanterman Superhero of the game.
We've been fortunate the whole week here that the group of officials that got assigned to be here this week is a really good group, a veteran group. They do a good job of communicating with each other and talking through weird situations, because there were several of them last night. And these guys do a good job. Which, you would think, right? It's a big game, sectional championship.
Absolutely.
It ought to be a better group of officials, and I think that's what the state tries to do, and that's what it is today.
And we got guys here that have been doing it for a long time. No question about it. And I've seen a lot of them at the middle school, roughing at the middle school ranks as well.
Well, a lot of these guys, they're working 6 days a week.
Yeah, they're working every single night, all the way, in November, not only varsity games for girls games, they're working girls games, boys games, middle school games. Three-point shot hits the front rim, no good. Rebound comes down to Ray. Talking about that Crowell Company's Lanterman Superhero of the game. They're proud to recognize the superheroes on the basketball court. We've also got that Boilermakers Local 374 blue-collar player of the game. May go to Logan Picorni, who picks up a three. Never know.
There's a lot of ways to attack the zone, but one thing remains common. If you catch the ball in the middle of the lane, that's good for you and bad for the defense. And little inside out there. Gets Picorni a unguarded three.
Trying to float one up. Gets
the
call he was hoping for was Jankowski. By the way, the Boilermakers Local 374. Earn while you learn about apprenticeship program and more at local374.org. We've also got that proud union home play of the game presented by Ironworkers Local 395. To find out how you can become a union ironworker, visit ironworkers395.com.
Jankowski's a nice player. He's a sophomore. He's not shying away from anything, and this game's not too big for him.
No, absolutely not. They already got 6 points. I didn't see, who did they call that foul on?
I think it was TJ.
Okay.
TJ Ray. And Jankowski just beat him with his first step, and TJ trying to catch back up and gets called with the body.
Knocks them both down. The sophomore doing well to start things up here in this Sectional 2 championship. (24-20) underneath, gets fouled going for the dunk.
Well, in all honesty, that's a pretty good foul.
If you're going to foul, I was of the mindset, I'm of the era that if you're going to foul somebody, make sure the basket doesn't go in.
Yep. That's his first. But if I'm Valpo, I'd rather have Bradley shooting free throws than dunking and getting the crowd more involved in the game.
First free throw is down. Yeah, no, if you've got a guy that can dunk, and both teams have them, If you've got guys that can dunk, you definitely don't want them scoring in that kind of fashion. You'd rather have to really earn it. That one doesn't rattle in on the second one. So
there you go. So that's a win.
That's a win because you only get half the points. Under 4 minutes to play here in the first half. Jankowski stopping at that left block, swinging it around the perimeter. Williams.
Jankowski's pretty aggressive tonight offensively.
A little extra juice there against the junior in Ray. Here's a three put down for Jankowski. Have yourself a night, young man. His second triple. And now he's got 10 points.
Completely different Valparaiso than the team that played here 2-3 weeks ago. And that's what happens when you hit a couple shots.
Yeah, you get that momentum and that confidence start to build. Got to figure out what he had for breakfast. Need that every day.
So right now, Valparaiso's got to make a switch here because Jankowski's guarding 6'8" Caden Schneider.
Well, in the way he's playing, he probably handle it. Trying to answer on the three ball. It doesn't go. Ball goes out of bounds. Trying to save it.
Good hustle by
they
Jalen.
might let it stand, and it will. And it gets to Redmond on the far end of the court. Give it to the guy with the hot hand right now, Jankowski. Feeds it down to McConaughey. Now feeds it down to the baseline, looking for Reeves. Kicks it out to Williams for three, who hits.
Well, that's big when you're getting threes out of him.
When you're getting him off the bench, no question. First points off the bench for Valparaiso. And you've left McConaughey scoreless so far in this game.
Yeah, and Williams is working his tail off to not let Bradley Basile.
And they're going to have a foul on a screen here. McConaughey normally averages about 7 points a game. Jankowski had gotten it up to about 10 points a game. He's at that right now.
I like the way he carries himself. As the season's gone on, he's getting more and more experience. He's telling everybody what to do right now. He's flying the plane here. Good for him as a sophomore. So we know this. For at least the next 2 years, Valpo's got a good one.
Yeah, no question about it.
Nice in and out.
Trying for the three, no good. The foul was on Jankowski, by the way.
Yeah, Jankowski hustles there and gets a knockout, and he steals a possession back.
Down to $125 in the opening half of Sectional 2 Championship. Hoosier hysteria has gotten started in big fashion. This building has seen quite a few good games already. Chesterton Portage, this one's stolen away for Ray, who goes up. It goes in, and there's a foul.
And you knew he was going to go for the block there, so TJ did a pretty good job of protecting the ball with his body and using his left.
So the basket counts. The foul will be on Williams.
TJ Ray already got 14 in the game.
Well, and he has a chance to get the old. He's got 4 threes in the game. And he's got a chance for the old-fashioned three-point play if he hits this free throw here.
And TJ was a
a travel here against Chesterton as they were trying to go for the rebound. Cosbade not able to come up with it.
Oh, these are the kind of situations that coaches get angry. Coach Urban's looking at him like, did he just dive on the floor?
Right.
I get it. He traveled, but how did he end up on the deck? And he might have tripped. I don't know.
This one poked away. Schneider able to pick it up off the hand from Ray.
Yeah, good work by TJ.
McCorney.
See, and if they can involve McConaughey in ball screens and those kind of things out on the perimeter, it takes that shot blocker away from under the basket.
McCorney on the far side of the court trying to slip to Schneider, who gets it poked away, and now Jankowski. The sophomore.
I'd like McCorney to take one more dribble off of that ball screen to get a little more separation to create an angle for that pocket pass.
Now Redmond up near the volleyball line on the far side, or on the right side of the court from our vantage point. To Jankowski in the corner with 9 seconds to go. It's off the mark. Picorni comes down with the rebound. 5 seconds to go. Picorni pops it for three. It's going to be short. And the half comes to an end. 27-26 your score.
You can tell from a momentum standpoint, right? Just the feel right now, Vikings are feeling pretty good about themselves right now.
Yeah, they're down by one at the half. That's certainly, you'll take that as a win in your book. And coming out with a little bit of juice, you're playing with house money, right? Because you're playing in your opponent's home gym for a sectional championship. I think the odds makers, if they were making one for this game, would have heavily favored the Chesterton Trojans. So certainly there is some good feelings on the side of the Valparaiso Vikings right now, being down one at the half.
Yeah, and I hate to sound cliche, but records really don't matter when these two teams play.
No.
You know, and you got to play on that night. And you know that when you grew up in these two towns, you know at some point it's going to come down to this game, whether that be in baseball or softball or football or obviously tonight in basketball. That's what happens when you're neighbors and you're in the same sectional in every sport.
Yep, absolutely. You eloquently put that, because this rivalry is like none other. All right, we're going to step aside. You are watching Game 9 of the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
It's time for the Commissioner's Corner, an exclusive weekly conversation about Indiana high school sports with the Commissioner of the IHSAA, Paul Neidig. Now for an up-to-the-minute report about what's happening in the constantly changing world of high school sports, here's Commissioner Paul Neidig.
Hey, welcome into the Commissioner's Corner. It's our weekly conversation with the Commissioner of the IHSAA, Paul Neidig. I'm Brendan King. Paul, great time of year. You just wrapped up the girls' basketball state finals over at Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Process kind of resets now with the boys' sectionals getting going, regionals soon, and then the state finals at the end of March. So let's just recap everything we saw from the girls' side. I know great attendance, some good ball games. How'd everything shake out in downtown Indy?
Well, anytime we're with our partners at Gamebridge Fieldhouse, the Pacer Sports Entertainment, it's a great weekend, and it didn't disappoint. You know, we had 8 teams make the pilgrimage in Indianapolis and get to play in the best basketball facility in the country. And so we had the morning session, the 1 and 2A games weren't as close as we would like, but I think there were still competitive games. And so then we took a little break and came back for the 3 and 4A game, and those both were barn burners and really great attendance and good weekend to celebrate girls high school basketball in this great state.
Yeah, obviously things finished up for an undefeated season for Center Grove, which is spectacular. Obviously, we saw what Belmont did in 3A. But, you know, you're giving out the medals, and I know it's a yearly occurrence, but what's it like for you just to see the faces when you present those medals and the celebration ensues? Because that's what's special of everything. Yeah,
it's first of all, I've given out a few medals in my career here at the IHSAA, and it never disappoints. I mean, it's certainly if they put the red one around their neck, they wish it was the blue. But as time moves on, they understand the accomplishment that team had, even though if they were in second place that day. But then to see the people, the student athletes get the medal, but the ones that I really enjoy are the bus drivers and the athletic trainers and the people that are around the team that have probably spent a lifetime within that school community. And today is their day to be able to celebrate with their girls, their coaches, and their town. And so it's really special to see those adults receive those medals also.
Sectional round of the boys tournament well underway, the regional round coming up here soon. And Paul, I know this is your wheelhouse. I mean, the hardwood is where you played on when your high school basketball career, and a lot of memories created. What is it about this time of year? And like you said, everybody plays a role, bus drivers, athletic trainers, student managers. But when you're actually getting to play in these high intense situations, what's that like? Well,
I think that's what you do. I mean, that's why you practice the game, why you love the game. And there's so many life lessons that people learn through the process of competing that carry them through the rest of their life. I often talk about those lessons being transformational, but they're also transferable into everything else these student athletes are going to do. And many of them would not achieve great things without the ability to grow up in an education-based athletic system. And I'm so proud of the work that our coaches do and our communities do to help these students have a platform to grow.
You have any specific memories from playing in the sectional round and, just what that's like? Because oftentimes people say sectional is the hardest, section of this tournament to win.
Well, we didn't have a lot of success when I played, but, it was the prep where you got on the bus and you got to go practice at the facility and you had a special meal. Oftentimes people that had played at the school and past coaches, past athletes come back and speak to those sectional team. It's really everything that goes into preparing for that week. And, the game is important, but the memories are just as strong about everything else that goes into that preparation.
It's a lot happening this time of year. Of course, again, the girls basketball state tournament wrapping up. The boys basketball state tournament is just getting into its moments of intensity. And then we've also got girls gymnastics regionals coming up, followed by the girls gymnastics state finals. Those will be on March the 14th at Worthen Arena over at Ball State University. Paul, always love talking hoop. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you again next week.
We'll talk to you soon, Brendan.
Thanks for listening to The Commissioner's Corner with IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig, and thank you for your continued support of the high schools in your community.
Welcome back to game night here on the Region Sports Network. Your halftime score is the Chesterton Trojans on top 27-26 over the Valparaiso Vikings. A little Duneland Athletic Conference showdown here to crown the winner of the sectional for sectional number 2. Michael Brenner here along with Wally McCormick. Happy to have you along with us for this broadcast. I was mentioning to you during that timeout, Valparaiso scored 13 points in both quarters. Chesterton scoring 9 in the second quarter, 18 in the first. So for Valparaiso, just keep winning quarters, and you might have yourself a sectional championship. You're 55th in program history.
Well, I mean, at this point, what do you got? 27-26. It's pretty much a push. We're going to play 2 quarters, and somebody's going to cut down nets. And,
yeah.
Valpo's got to be happy with their start, because last time they were in this gym, they got blown out of the gym and lost by 40, which that doesn't happen a lot to them, and that doesn't happen a lot in this series, between the two. And so mentally, it'd be interesting to see where both teams are at. I'm guessing the Trojans are getting told that they played less than 2 expectations.
That's a nice way of putting kind of how Mark Urban might be talking back there.
I don't want to throw Urb under the bus, but he's probably not thrilled. And the complete opposite's going on in the Valpo locker room is they're feeling pretty good about themselves. So I think, we say this every time there's a game. Everybody talks about how important the first 3 minutes of the third quarter are.
Yes. No question about it. We'd like to remind everyone that tonight's video stream is powered by Absolute Power Systems in Griffith, providing exceptional service for industrial engines, pumps, and generator power systems. For more info, visit AbsolutePowerSystems.com. Absolute Power Systems, powering your business absolutely. So we'll be looking at some adjustments here. If you're the Chesterton Trojans, what exactly are you wanting to adjust to maybe grow this lead a little bit? Obviously, you got a 1-point lead, but to grow this lead in these first couple minutes.
Well, I think on the defensive side of the ball, they've really overplayed passing lanes and really worked hard on the perimeter. But what that does, it takes away help, and so they got beaten a couple times off dribble penetration. The threes that Valpo hit or something, Jankowski's got free for a couple that, stick to what you do, right? You're a man-to-man team, communicate your screens better, that pick and choose when they're going to double team off those high ball screens. And on the flip side, on the other end, Valpo has had some success in the 2-3. They have given up some threes out of the 2-3, and they've been pretty good in their man-to-man. I think they've done a nice job on Basila so far. I mean, what's he got, 3 points right now at the half, which, last time when Chesterton can work their inside game and shoot perimeter threes, they're really tough to beat. And so far today, thank God for TJ Ray scoring 14, because offensively, Valparaiso was limited Chesterton offensively to what they've been able to do so far in a half. So
was going to say, the three guys that score in double digits for the Chesterton Trojans, Picorni, Watts, and Basila, are all held to single digits. Combined, they have scored 10 of the 27 points, 14 coming to TJ Ray. Now, on the flip side, you got a guy in Maddox Wagner for Valparaiso who averages in the double digits, about almost 12 a game, and he's only limited to 2. So Chesterton's keeping him off the board. The problem is that Jankowski is also meeting his average right now, and you know he's going to score more, so he's going to go above his average tonight.
Well, and in all honesty, Wagner's keeping himself off the board by living in foul trouble and sitting down next to the coach. If I'm Chesterton right now, I'm overplaying Wagner's left hand, and I'm flopping. Somebody's rolling over to take a charge because he's going to be aggressive, try to get back into the flow of things. So if they can somehow get him at his third foul, that puts him back on the coaching staff instead of being on the floor.
Redmond, Jankowski, Reeves, Wagner, and McConaughey for Valpo. Ray, Picorni, Watts, Basila, and Schneider for Chesterton to start this second half. Chesterton starts with the ball. Watts here in the near corner in front of the Chesterton bench. Now Basila goes up to the window and gets the bucket.
Nice pass to the short corner. It's when the guy on the bottom in the 2-3's got to go defend the corner. Chesterton doubles up their post on that side, and they're able to get a nice short corner pass.
McConaughey waits for the defender to come up for the start the 5-second count. And Redmond, he's waiting at the top near the half-court line as well, waiting for some to get drawn up, waiting for some movement. Moves out to his left near the volleyball line near side. Goes back to McConaughey here.
Yeah, Picorni is so quick.
Schneider really smothering him there. Redmond kicks it out to the corner. Now we got major contact down there, and Redmond fell on his backside, and he is in some considerable pain, it looks like, looks like it might be Basila down there as well. We got some hard contact for sure. And we'll have a whistle. We want to remind everybody that we will hand out awards at the end of this one. We got the Crowd Company's Lantern Man Superhero of the game, who are proud to recognize the superheroes on the basketball court.
Interesting, the official held up that he was given. It's a 2-shot foul. I'm not sure that I understand. I mean, he passed, right?
Well, they probably just saw it was in the air and probably assumed it was in the act of shooting. And Redmond is still down. So we're going to step aside for just a moment. You are watching Game Night of the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
Headquartered in Griffith, Indiana, Absolute Power Systems has been delivering top-notch service since 2004, with a team of skilled technicians boasting extensive training on some of the biggest names in the business, like Cummins, Caterpillar, John Deere, Volvo, and more. They focus on providing exceptional industrial engine service and generator power system maintenance and repair. Check them out on the web at AbsolutePowerSystems.com. Absolute Power Systems, powering your business absolutely.
All right, so
welcome back to Game Night here on the Region Sports Network. Michael Brenner here along with Wally McCormick. So they are going to give Redmond the chance to shoot. Well, Redmond would be the one shooting the fouls. However, he can't shoot them at the moment. He's come out of the game due to the injury. He did walk off under his own power.
And I think they're making Chesterton take Basila out right now because they figure they stopped the game because of two players getting hurt, and so they're both going to have to come out. Which, Valparaiso now gets to pick who they want to shoot the free throws.
So, and he's going to want to check in, but they're saying he can't come in until after. I think because it looks like it's Williams that's going to shoot the free throws. So I couldn't hear Uran, but I don't know if he can't come in until after the two shots are made. So normally he would come in right now, but he is not allowed to check in at this point as Williams knocks that first one down. So if he makes this one, I believe Basila's able to come in. If he doesn't, he's still not able to come in, obviously. So he does make it, so they're going to have to wait till the next round before he can come in. Okay. I wasn't sure if it was well after the free throws or directly after the free throws.
Valparaiso back in the 2-3.
We got a foul again away from the ball, and it's going to be
McConaughey, I think.
Yep, it is going to be against McConaughey, who will pick up his second.
Yeah, same thing. Trying to bump a cutter. So moved his feet a little too much, I guess.
Cosspade will come out. Basila comes back in, and now the inbound comes to Watts. Watts has been an impressive player in his Chesterton career. I remember watching him early on with some of the stars on this team after they went to state in 2022. Basila with a lot of authority and power, just a little too strong off the window. And those are things where if you're Chesterton, you can't really afford at this point to really make too many mistakes the way this is going right now. And Valparaiso wants to capitalize on those mistakes, and they really can't afford to be making mistakes like that.
No, and that's what McConaughey does on defense. Like, he doesn't always block the shot, but everybody knows he's there. And you see a lot of guys pulling a string on those or going real hard like Bradley did because they're worried about getting blocked.
Yeah, that pass just goes between the legs.
He just set an unbelievable screen on T.J. Ray.
Yeah, he did.
/ trap block, but it was legal.
Ray felt the effects of it as Schneider tries to feed it down inside.
Yeah, Coach Liske just said, don't guard him there.
Kowski matches up against Schneider. A lot of bodies down here, going up and in for Ray. First points of this second quarter, and I think Liske was asking, hey, where's the foul there? But foul could have gone either way, so I like the no call. Williams spins, ends off to Jankowski. 5:30 left to go in the third quarter. Williams tries to get the pass. It is picked off by Picorni and loses it out of bounds. So Chesterton leads at 31-28 with 5:24 to go. Remember, we'd like to remind everyone that tonight's video stream is powered by Absolute Power System in Griffith, providing exceptional service for industrial engines, pumps, and generator power systems. For more info, visit AbsolutePowerSystems.com. Absolute Power Systems, powering your business absolutely. And another foul away from the ball. If we've had 15 foul calls, I think only 2 of them have been in the act of using the ball. Well, I've never seen so many off-ball calls.
And here's what you got. T.J. Reyes got hammered by McConaughey on 2 screens. And so that somebody went to set a screen for TJ, and TJ lowered his shoulder and ran him over, and the official said that we're not having that.
Wagner using his authority to get to the rim. Came up short. Here comes Ray in transition. Stopping at the three-point line. Gets it again. Picorni dishes it out to Ray. Left open and splashes it home.
TJ Ray's having a night.
That is his 5th 3 of the night, and it's got Urban fired up. And it's got this Chesterton crowd in it as well. Foul with Jankowski penetrating to the basket, and the foul's going to be on Ray. That's going to be his 3rd. That's not a time to pick up your 3rd foul.
No. And it's, I mean, that's one of those things where you get the body on him.
So Jankowski goes to the line. He makes his first free throw. 4:45 to go in this third quarter.
Jankowski's got 11 right now.
Averages about 10 a game, so it's that one as well. He is 4 of 4 from the charity stripe today. The sophomore. Going to be an impressive player to watch for Valpo for the next couple of years.
Yeah, I like him. He does a lot of nice things.
And how about Valpo's shoe game right now, by the way?
Valpo's shoe game?
The shoe game. Yeah, did you see those things?
You know, I got to be I like team shoes, The Pirates were my favorite team. Everybody on the team had the same shoes on. I kind of like that.
Okay. I like some individuality, but I'm with you. I like the timeout taken by Coach Liske. It'd be a 30-second timeout. Yeah, I think like in certain situations, like if you have like a benefit night or a certain kind of night, then yeah, maybe the individual. But I don't know, I go half and half on that.
Well, and the reality is now that even these high school teams have contracts with different companies to where you see at Chesterton they've got a deal with BSN Sports, and then so their uniforms are all Nike. So they're going to take and most basketball players are Nike people. I guess if you look around, weird that I never remember seeing a kid wear black shoes at Chesterton before. And last night there were 4 kids in black shoes, and none of them are wearing the same shoes tonight. So.
See a couple of them out there.
Yeah, they had on some all black Kobe's last night. The Pirates impressed me.
All right, next time I work with you, we're gonna get you all. We're gonna get you uniformed up. We're gonna get you a nice pair of shoes, and
yeah, that's fine as long as everybody's wearing the same one. I kind of like.
All right,
like
all right.
that.
So we're wearing the same shoes. All right, I'll make sure we coordinate before we come to the game if we work regionals next week together. By the way, the winner of this sectional will play the winner of sectional 1 at last check. Crown Point was beating Lake Central over double digits. I don't know where I wrote that score down. It was like 35-22 last look. I believe that was right around a halftime score. So Chesterton, one of the juggernauts here in Northwest Indiana. That 3 is just off the mark. Chesterton comes down with the rebound. And we'll have a timeout because we do have a...
Yeah, and it's going to be a problem, too, is because he's got blood on his shorts. So from what we've seen in the sectional so far, anybody with blood on them, they've been making them change uniforms. So,
well, it's not on the shirt. I don't know if he has to change the shirt. It's definitely on the shorts. There's no question about that. So they're going to work on that. But yeah, so in regional, we don't know exactly where the regional is. Our best guess would be Michigan City. That's not confirmed yet. But it'll be the winner of Sectional 1 will face the winner of Sectional 2 for a regional championship next week. And now we're going to have to delay the game because there is blood on the floor, unfortunately. So we're going to step aside for just a moment. You are watching Game Night of the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.
Hey, welcome back to Game Night here on the Region Sports Network. We'd like to remind everyone that tonight's video stream is powered by Absolute Power Systems in Griffith, providing exceptional service for industrial engines, pumps, and generator power systems. For more info, visit AbsolutePowerSystems.com. Absolute Power Systems, powering your business absolutely. All right, we've got all the
stoppage time.
Yeah,
it's
we've
like
got stoppage.
Right
Yeah.
now.
We're going to add about 30 seconds on to the end of the... No. We've got all the trail is cleared up. I have not seen, as this one is going to be picked up here by Ransom, did not see if Ello had to change jerseys. And we'll keep you updated on that if we see it. Watts here.
Covering a lot of ground in this 2-3 right now. As they've extended the top a little bit.
Stretching it out a little bit. Basila getting it back out to Watts. Chesterton, a very patient team. They will wait as Picorni goes to the window. No good. And Urban not thrilled at the no call there as Picorni was going to the rim, and now we'll have a foul here, and the foul this time going to be on Ransom for the block.
Well, and some of those high ball screens that McCartney is setting, he's still there. I mean, those aren't illegal. It's Jankowski does a great job of running the defender into him. Can't let him go left.
From the left side, going up, matched up against Basila. Another foul here. And it's going to be against the Chesterton Trojans again, and the coaching staff
and right
voicing
now,
their displeasure.
Right now what's going on is we're worrying about things we can't control here. And what you have here is an interesting setup for the rest of the quarter because Chesterton's got 5 fouls right now. Valparaiso's got 1.
And there's still 2:36 left to go in this quarter.
Yep, so everything the rest of the quarter, Valpo's going to be shooting.
As Wagner makes the first free throw here and makes 2 for 2.
Basketball games are tough to officiate. There's so many potential calls that could happen on every possession. It's
Valparaiso, by the way, 13 of 13 from the charity stripe tonight.
Well, when you wear that jersey, that's kind of expected to you because they've made
Basila going to the window and putting it in.
Valpo's basketball history is tied to a whole lot of really good free throw shooting.
But it's not every day a team. And there's so much contact going on, and there are no whistles to be heard at this moment in time. And if you're Valparaiso, you're certainly going to take it. If you're Valparaiso, you really want to throw Chesterton off their game, and that kind of feels like what's happened here. And this is where Urban is saying, okay, reset. Let's reset here.
Well, and with the foul situation being the way it is, if they're going to stay in the 2-3, or they switch to man, because I think if they stayed in the 2-3, Chesterton just going to be content to stand here at half court and try to let this quarter end.
This one blocked up top, and they are going to call goaltending at the top.
And
I think every Chesterton fan in this place stood up. So Picorni will be credited with those points.
No, that's TJ Ray.
Oh, I'm sorry, TJ Ray. Beg your pardon.
TJ's got 21 right now.
Yeah, the hostility is increasing here in Chesterton.
Now
and it's really kind of one-sided.
Now it's a Valpo Chesterton game.
Here we go. 6-point game with $1:23 to go in the third quarter. And there is a lot of contact here between and anyone can argue charge, and they're going to say they're going to say it's bobble, timeout, as Jankowski wants the timeout. Urban wants the double dribble. And the rain of boos are coming in here. And this is where, honestly, if you're Coach Urban, you're not yelling at your team. You're going to try to fire up your team and saying it's one of those us against the world kind of mentalities.
Yeah, and they got a long minute and 14 here with 5 fouls.
And the crazy thing, to me, I mean, normally in these kind of situations, when you feel the momentum in this kind of way, normally it's the team that isn't winning on the scoreboard. But Chesterton's winning on the scoreboard right now, where it matters the most. Of any number where it's winning where it means the most, that's where they're leading.
Yeah, well.
I don't know if that helps the Chesterton fans at all in terms of how this is playing out here.
Well,
I haven't convinced you, I can tell.
Having a grandfather as an official, he used to tell me all the time that somehow guys' vision gets better the farther they are away from the court. And we had a lot of guys that got opinions tonight, it appears.
Well, and this isn't, everyone's entitled to their opinions. Everyone's, we try to advocate the best sportsmanship. We do have good officials, despite what some people may say. We've got a foul here. And the foul is likely to be on Nasir White. And he's down. And here's going to be Coach Urban's argument is,
yep,
you call it as we have a breakaway. I think he would rather let that one go so that way his guy can get all the way to the rim. And Nasir White is still down, so we'll step aside. You are watching Game 9 here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
IBEW Local 697 isn't just wiring buildings. We're woven into the very fabric of Northwest Indiana. We're your neighbors. Our kids go to school with yours. We stand in the same bleachers cheering for the same high school teams. When you hire a union electrician, you're not just getting the highest quality work, you're supporting our community. IBEW Local 697, proudly powering our own.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
At American Testing Services, based in Hobart, Indiana, we specialize in NDT drone inspections and heat treatment services for local mills, fab shops, and facilities across the country. From Northwest Indiana to nationwide, we deliver precision, safety, and reliability. American Testing Services, America's trusted name in NDT.
Calling all current and future homeowners in the Northwest Indiana area. Whether you're buying or selling, Brent Wright is here to make your real estate journey smooth and successful. With years of experience, personalized service, and a deep knowledge of the market, Brent will help you find the perfect place or get the best deal for your property. Call today at 219-406-7195 and take the first step towards your real estate goals. Contact Brent Wright, the right way to buy and sell real estate.
But
at Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
Down, sit, put.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blyce. This is where the athlete shops.
Located in the heart of downtown Indianapolis, the newly renovated Hampton Inn is within walking distance to over 30 restaurants and attractions, including Lucas Oilfield and Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Hampton Inn has much to offer, including a hot breakfast, high-speed internet access in every room, as well as a fitness center. Why wait? Make your reservations today. Call 317-261-1200 or make them on the web at hamptonin3.hilton.com. Hampton Inn, Indianapolis, downtown.
welcome back to Chesterton High School here on the Region Sports Network. We are still in a delay. Nasir White, unfortunately, still down. We're not going to speculate as to the exact severity of the injury, but he is still down. He is being looked at by multiple individuals at the moment. It's a quiet, eerie moment here at Chesterton right now. So unfortunate in this third quarter that the young man goes down. We were just talking, parents, I don't know how parents do this, and I'd be clutching my breath right now, just not knowing what's going on. But, we just want to update you, let you know that we, unfortunately, White is still down. So we will step aside yet again. And when we return, hopefully we will resume action. But that is the update as of right now. We'll be back in just a little bit. You are watching Game 9 of the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Sometimes the hardest part of improving your business isn't coming up with a great idea. It's knowing what to do with it. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services is ready to meet all your industrial and commercial construction needs. Whether it's a small build-out or a complete construction project, Chester will design, build, and finance. Our team eliminates multiple contractors, providing you a single point of contact while staying within your budget. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services, turning your ideas into realities.
Mortar Martorano's Roofing is a family-owned business established in 1986, celebrating over 40 years. We have completed over 5,600 roof replacements, repairs, and chimney projects, focused in Northwest Indiana and Southwest Michigan. Martorano's Roofing has always put family, friends, and customers first in our mission to complete roofing projects with the greatest care and consideration as if it was our own. Give them a call today for a free estimate at 219-872-8246. Martorano's Roofing. Protect your past, present, and future roofs for you and your loved ones and your legacy.
When it comes to your money, you deserve more than just numbers on a page. You deserve someone who sees the full picture. Meet Mark Machnick, one of Northwest Indiana's most trusted accounting professionals. Whether you're running a business, planning for retirement, or just trying to make sense of tax season, Mark Machnick, located in Highland, makes it simple, personal, and believe it or not, painless. Contact Mark and his team today at 219-595-5290. Mark Machnick, CPA.
On-Site Generator Solutions is a locally owned and operated power partner for Northwest Indiana homes. With over 14 years of experience, they handle tasks such as generators, residential electric, plumbing, automotive care, and more. You can find them on Facebook. Give them a call at 219-516-6800 or search them up on the web at onsitegeneratorsolutions.com. On-Site Generator Solutions. Power you could count on every time, everywhere.
Just think about.
Since 1998, customers have enjoyed Chicago dogs, Italian beef, burgers, Polish, and of course the gyros, all from the original George's Gyro Spot in Chesterton. Located at 325 North Calumet Road, George's Gyro Spot prides itself on fast, friendly service at affordable prices. Open 7 days a week, George's Gyro Spot offers dine-in or carry-out. To place an order, call 219-926-5435 or go to georgesgyrospot.com to check out their menu and to place your online order. The original George's Gyro Spot.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Have you heard? Strachan-Manteau was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Strachan-Manteau.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Welcome back to the Region Sports Network. This is Game Night, and we'd like to remind everyone that tonight's video stream is powered by Absolute Power Systems in Griffith, providing exceptional service for industrial engines, pumps, and generator power systems. For more info, visit AbsolutePowerSystems.com. Absolute Power Systems, powering your business. Absolutely. 65 seconds to go here in the third quarter. We are still in a delay as Nasir White still on the court being tended to by athletic trainers, multiple individuals on the court at the moment in time. Individuals on radios signaling for something. We're not going to speculate as to any cause or what exactly is going on out there at the court. You and I are both in education, and we're at the moment we're sick to our stomachs watching this. But we know with the radio calls, unfortunately, probably likely means EMTs are on their way, which just bothers us to our core. But yeah, we are in a standstill at
there's
the moment.
there's a lot of administrators standing by the door.
Yeah.
Which tells me we're waiting for somebody to walk through the door. So you got and here's the one. If you're looking for positives out of this thing, the trainers here at Chesterton and the trainers at Valpo are some of the best there is, or some of the best there are. And this is what they do. This is what they train for. This is what they know. It's a profession that sometimes people take for granted until a time like right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we're fortunate at Chesterton, as they are at Valpo, is the same way, to have really good people that care about it. They love kids, and they're the coolest heads in the bunch, right? They want the kids to be safe. Where, selfishly sometimes as coaches, we want to win, and parents want their kids to do good, and a lot of times the trainers are the only ones that are the voice of reason of, let's do what's let's do what's right for the kids. And ours here, Bernie Steno and Marnie, they're so good, so professional. And I think Coach Ahern is at Valparaiso. They get, and those guys, but the athletic trainers, from all the area schools, it's it's a fraternity.
Mm-hmm. There's no question.
Where they train together in the summer, they do research with each other. Kathy Lewandowski right now standing up, who was the 30-year trainer at Valparaiso High School. She's going out on the floor right now. It's a good group of people. It's those people are earning their wings, is what they're doing.
Yeah, there's no question about it. So anybody that has those credentials, kudos to you. Yeah, I think you said a really valid point. It goes underrated until it's absolutely needed.
Yeah.
You mentioned Chesterton. There's so many. It's a fraternity. So many good trainers out there. It's actually an award here in Indiana that somebody around the state of Indiana will get those awards in by districts and things like that. And it's so well deserved. And my mom was in the medical field for many years, and gosh, you don't know how many lives get saved even just without even people knowing it, even ahead of time, by diagnosing something or getting something, you don't know, 5 years ago this could have manifested as something so much worse. So, kudos to anyone in the medical field.
And what people don't see is the ankle sprains and the hamstrings and the hip flexors and those, where these trainers, practice is getting over at 5:30, 6 o'clock. They're staying here till 8, 9 o'clock rehabbing with kids and getting here at 7 in the morning on Saturdays to do stuff.
And even at, these high school levels, there's only so many, obviously take a high school level program. You've got freshman, JV, varsity, right? And that's at two different levels. It's boys and girls. They can't all be in the same gym at the same time. So you have different times where those are being done. So at the same time, that athletic trainer really needs to be here. And some schools might have more than one, so they kind of split it up. But those people have to be here for that entire time, and especially in the summer. People, some practices start at 6 in the morning, and then they don't get done till 8 o'clock at night, and somebody's there during that entire time.
Well, I just know for us, in football, we don't go on a field or we don't do anything unless Bernie's there. So our head coach, Mark Peterson, all the scheduling and calendar of events is all done in cahoots with Bernie and Bernie's availability to make sure there's coverage, because, and even little schools, that's people think, well, it's just big school. Schools still,
everybody's got to have this.
We got 2 soccer teams outside every day.
And the training.
3 football teams outside every day. 2 cross-country teams running in the neighborhoods and running on streets. And then you got a gym full of volleyball people at the same time. So, we're fortunate here that our administration and our ad people understand the value and are willing to spend the money that it takes to do it the right way. But that's not the case at every school, and it's unfortunate.
So we're going to step aside again. We are still waiting for the individuals on the court to continue to work with the young man from Valpo, and we will step aside. You are watching Game Night here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Since 1998, customers have enjoyed Chicago dogs, Italian beef, burgers, Polish, and of course the gyros, all from the original George's Gyro Spot in Chesterton. Located at 325 North Calumet Road, George's Gyro Spot prides itself on fast, friendly service at affordable prices. Open 7 days a week, George's Gyro Spot offers dine-in or carry-out. To place an order, call 219-926-5435 or go to georgesgyrospot.com to check out their menu and to place your online order. The original George's Gyro Spot.
Have you heard? Strachan Manteau was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Strachan Manteau.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Headquartered in Griffith, Indiana, Absolute Power Systems has been delivering top-notch service since 2004, with a team of skilled technicians boasting extensive training on some of the biggest names in the business, like Cummins, Caterpillar, John Deere, Volvo, and more. They focus on providing exceptional industrial engine service and generator power system maintenance and repair. Check them out on the web at AbsolutePowerSystems.com. Absolute Power Systems, powering your business absolutely.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craftworkers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I've received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craftworkers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
IBEW Local 697 isn't just wiring buildings. We're woven into the very fabric of Northwest Indiana. We're your neighbors. Our kids go to school with yours. We stand in the same bleachers cheering for the same high school teams. When you hire a union electrician, you're not just getting the highest quality work. You're supporting our community. IBEW Local 697, proudly powering our own.
Calling all current and future homeowners in the Northwest Indiana area. Whether you're buying or selling, Brent Wright is here to make your real estate journey smooth and successful. With years of experience, personalized service, and a deep knowledge of the market, Brent will help you find the perfect place or get the best deal for your property. Call today at 219-406-7195 and take the first step towards your real estate goals. Contact Brent Wright, the right way to buy and sell real estate.
When it comes to your money, you deserve more than just numbers on a page. You deserve someone who sees the full picture. Meet Mark Machnick, one of Northwest Indiana's most trusted accounting professionals. Whether you're running a business, planning for retirement, or just trying to make sense of tax season, Mark Machnick, located in Highland, makes it simple, personal, and believe it or not, painless. Contact Mark and his team today at 219-595-5290. Mark Machnick, CPA.
Sometimes the hardest part of improving your business isn't coming up with a great idea. It's knowing what to do with it. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services is ready to meet all your industrial and commercial construction needs. Whether it's a small build-out or a complete construction project, Chester will design, build, and finance. Our team eliminates multiple contractors, providing you a single point of contact while staying within your budget. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services, turning your ideas into realities.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.
Back here at Chesterton High School, 1:05 left to go in the third quarter. As we've been on about a 20-minute or so, 15-20-minute delay here. One of the players, Nas White, 6'2 junior from Valpo, was down on the floor, and out of courtesy to him, and we're not going to speculate on what an injury is, but AMTs were called and have come in, and he's now left the gym. So we're trying to sort out here what exactly the officials are going to do. It appears that they're going to let both teams shoot around a little bit. Valpo's team's in a huddle right now, praying for their brother a little bit, or they're praying for their teammate. Coach is having a conversation with them, and something like this happens, basketball becomes secondary. But at this point, we're going to have to regroup and play, as our thoughts and prayers go out to Nas White and his family, and we hope that everything's okay, and trust that the people that are making the decisions here for him, he's in good hands. He's in with the professionals. This is what they do, and while the other guys are shooting around a little bit here and trying to get ready to come back in the game, it's
Yeah, we were talking about that kind of during that last timeout that we had here. Now you got to go resume a game after that, and you got to get your head in a spot, and your first thought obviously is making sure that your teammate, your opponent, whatever relation is, that they're okay. But now you got to go do a game. You got to finish a game. There's still 65 seconds in the third quarter, and then another quarter after that.
And the other thing is, you got 20 guys that are in a full sweat.
Yes.
And now they're sitting here cold again, and very similar probably to a halftime, right? You go sit in a locker room and you're gone for 15 or so. I don't know how long that we were out here. It seemed like a long time, but
yeah, quite a while. So these guys are going to get to warm up. We're not given a specific time as how long they're going to allow them to warm up.
No, and the officials are talking to Coach Liskey and Coach Urban right now, which I'm sure that they're getting together and trying to do what's best for everybody involved here. I just saw Urban smile and Liskey smile.
We were talking about this too. Anyone that thinks that, we say like there's that bad blood. Well, there's just that strong competitiveness. It's not like there's anybody out here that truly, that hates the other person. There is a respect level between Urban and Liskey and coaching staffs and players and stuff like that.
Well, I use the example. It's like playing against your brother in something.
Yeah.
Like you love your brother, but you don't want to lose to your brother.
Correct.
And it doesn't matter what it is. It's a video game. It's rock, paper, scissors. It's football, basketball, and that's kind of how it is. To be honest with you, with all the teams in our league, the administrators all seem to get along. The coaches, for the most part, all get along. But on Friday night for 2 hours or whatever it is, well, you want to win.
Yeah, no question about it. So they have not designated an amount of time that they are going to put on the clock to warm up. So players are out warming up at this moment in time. They are pointing to something on the Jumbotron above us. I'm not sure exactly what.
That's the legend of Highland, Rob Dorsey. He's running the clock right now. Let's see if I can get his attention to figure out what we got going on. And
I'll let you yell. I can talk for a little bit. Go ahead. You do your thing. We'd like to remind everyone that tonight's video stream is powered by Absolute Power Systems in Griffith, providing exceptional service for industrial engines, pumps, and generator power systems. For more info, visit AbsolutePowerSystems.com. Absolute Power Systems, for powering your business absolutely.
All right, so we got another blood spill. So we got a blood cleanup, then they're going to go 30 seconds, and then we're going to go.
All right. All right, when it comes to injuries, we have met our quota for the evening.
Yes.
For blood spills, we have met our quota for the evening.
Yes, we have. And you know, we're going to play a basketball game here, and that's all fine and dandy, but everybody in this building right now is sending positive thoughts and prayers to Nas White and his family to make sure that he's okay.
Yeah, no question. It's extremely unfortunate. You're going to have to go think about a game and try to resume a game. At the same time, still in the back of your mind, I don't care if you're the Valpo players or the Chesterton players, you're thinking in the back of your mind.
Yeah, so it's been so long, I forgot whose ball it was, but it appears it's
the officials have been
Chesterton.
Communicating the entire time.
Oh, and that's
at
right,
the table.
because Chesterton had the
breakaway, and we
layup.
had the foul, yes.
Yeah.
So, they've been communicating and making sure that everybody's, they're probably writing things down, like, for the long delay. But we are ready to resume with 65 seconds to go in this third quarter. It'll be Chesterton ball.
All right,
tie-up will send it to Valpo.
Yeah, and Valpo comes out right now without McConaughey in the lineup. We're still in that 2-3 zone. We got 4 more guard types.
Watts looking to pass it down to the baseline. Gives it up to Ransom here in the right wing. Under a minute to play. Being to the middle, now to the corner. Going for the three-point basket. Can't hit for Ransom. Now here comes Valpo in transition. Jankowski brings it across the timeline. Still strong contact that we've seen throughout this one here as Wagner on the baseline, on the left block, pushing his way up. Too strong. Rebound comes down to Williams. Get the basket.
Nope, no basket.
No, they're going to say offensive foul. Oh, my.
People complain all the time. It's over the back. It's not over the back.
No, that's not
you
actually
do
a foul
to earn it.
Yeah.
But TJ Ray is trying to box him out, and so now you get the call. But
yeah, the over the back call, they call it that, but that's not actually the foul.
That's big.
It's the positioning of going for the rebound.
That takes 2 points off the scoreboard for Valparaiso.
Potentially 3.
Yeah, so in this 2-3 zone.
Tipped. Williams controls.
Yeah.
Jankowski here with 10 seconds left to go in this third quarter, down by 6.
Cooper's got to do a better job of influence in this zone with his eyes.
Jankowski to the window and falls in as time expires.
He's got 14 right now, Jankowski does.
Jankowski having himself a night. So the end of the third quarter, 38-34. You're watching Game 9 of the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
When it comes to your money, you deserve more than just numbers on a page. You deserve someone who sees the full picture. Meet Mark Machnick, one of Northwest Indiana's most trusted accounting professionals. Whether you're running a business, planning for retirement, or just trying to make sense of tax season, Mark Machnick, located in Highland, makes it simple, personal, and believe it or not, painless. Contact Mark and his team today at 219-595-5290. Mark Machnick, CPA.
On-Site Generator Solutions is a locally owned and operated power partner for Northwest Indiana homes. With over 14 years of experience, they handle tasks such as generators, residential electric, plumbing, automotive care, and more. You can find them on Facebook. Give them a call at 219-516-6800 or search them up on the web at onsitegeneratorsolutions.com. On-Site Generator Solutions. Power you could count on every time, everywhere.
Start of the fourth quarter here in Chesterton.
Breaking out the M&M right now.
Sectional championship on the line. Sectional number 2. It's a 4-point game as we begin this fourth quarter. Neither team has ever won a state championship in program history. They both have won one semi-state. As Jankowski high off the window.
Yeah, and Chesterton's made a switch here defensively where they put Picorni on him.
For Chesterton, they went down to state back in 22, coming up short against Indy Cathedral. For Valparaiso, they last won in 1994 as well. A kicked ball here. Coach, I think you'll like this. So Valpo in 1994 lost to South Bend Clay.
Jerron Cornell.
In a overtime game. I knew you would have something there. South Bend Clay closed in 2024. Coach Huppenthal, the girls basketball coach at Lake Central, Joe Huppenthal, coached there 19 seasons. He'll be coaching the Indiana All-Stars versus Kentucky later this year. Pretty cool moment. Do you know the most famous alumni from famous, or maybe not the most famous, but someone who stands out from South Bend Clay?
Nick Bamber.
Okay.
The pride of Liberty Middle School.
See, I was going to go with John Gruden, but okay.
All right, well, we'll go with Chucky.
Okay. I said you were bringing up stuff when we were in LaPorte not that long ago, so I figured I'll throw some knowledge at you. As Basila had it blocked up top, and a foul. Oh, Liskey almost lost the coat. And foul will be on Wagner. That's going to be his third. 6:53 to go in this third quarter.
Well,
in this fourth quarter.
I want to say that Valpo team was Bryce Drew, Tim Bishop. I think that was the 94 team. And that was, talk about a couple of great Valpo athletes. You know, Tim Bishop, a guy that he might have been the greatest all-around athlete in Northwest Indiana, being an Indiana All-Star in 3 sports, and obviously Bryce Drew and all the things that he was able to do. You know, that state championship game at Cathedral and Chesterton a couple years back.
Basila gets the rebound there.
Yeah, that's big.
After missing the 2 free throws, keeps the possession. 2-point game, 6:44 to go in this one. One thing about that long delay is that it has allowed Redmond to get back into the game for Valparaiso. He was kind of nursing a bad lower back there as Basila puts one in on the hook.
Yeah, and I think that when they put him in the high post, it makes Wagner come up and guard him and gives Bradley a chance to put it on the deck.
Jankowski gets some separation from Ransom there. Kicks it to the corner, now back out, looking for the 3 for Wagner. Hits the iron, no good. Basila comes down with the rebound. 4-point game, just over 6 minutes to go. Ransom will bring it across the timeline. Kicks into the middle with Picorni, who fires towards the basket. Had it blocked, and there is a foul, so he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
That's his 4th, so here comes a big fella.
So Wagner gets called for his 4th.
Yeah, and Coach Liskey's got a decision to make right now. Do I take him out of the game with 5:57 to go? Now, they do have the luxury of bringing McConaughey back in, or do they keep them both in and play with 2 bigs? And if that's the case right now, if they're going to keep Wagner in the game, I'm Chesterton. I'm lowering my shoulder and attacking his chest and trying to see if we can get him out of the game.
Yeah, go right at him.
So I'm assuming this substitution will come after the first free throw?
Striker Van Til hometown scoreboard update, by the way, over in Crown Point. Crown Point gets the win in sectional number 1, 57-52 over Lake Central.
Speaking of your South Bend Clay trivia, do you know who the last basketball coach was at South Bend Clay?
That I do not. I
Del
know
Ray Brooks, Michigan City Rogers, I believe.
Yeah. Okay.
For all you colonials that are tuning in for the game today, you got some Nick Bamber and you got some Del Ray Brooks and Chucky. That's 3 pretty good guys.
Shot put up by Jankowski.
And I feel like Jankowski got fouled 3 times on that drive. In the foul that they call was probably the least egregious of the 3.
Basila gets called for the foul. And so Jankowski will go to the line.
So Chesterton's got 2 guys on the floor right now with 3. TJ Ray has 3, and Bradley Basila has 3. As Jankowski continues, he's got 17 right now.
He's having a really impressive night, and just a sophomore for these Vikings.
Has Valpo missed a free throw?
That's what I was just going to check. No. So at one point they were 13 of 13. So I believe that makes them 15 of 15.
Valpo kids are calling out wave.
And you look at, 15 of 15, you have 38 points. Little teardrop shot short. Urban's looking for something, doesn't get it. Jankowski across the timeline. He's going to drive, goes up, no whistle. Ball loose. And they're going to say it's going to be Chesterton ball. A lot going on underneath the basket. Couldn't get
there's some
anything
contact.
doing. But this is where the officials are going to let the whistle. They're going to swallow their whistle because both teams are going at that. Chesterton coming left to right on the court from our vantage point here, waiting for the call to get set up. Over to the left side with Watts. And now into the middle, Picorni. Basila underneath, slamming it down with the two hands.
And Chesterton's had success with that all night. When they get the ball into the high post, the big for Valparaiso lifts to defend the high post, and they've been able to get that little dump down to the short corner.
Back to a 6-point game. Jankowski demanding the ball. Getting around this screen. McConaughey gives it back to Jankowski here in the left wing. Drives to the left side. Now to the right side. Up against contact. Inside the paint with the floater. Nice job by Jankowski against strong defensive pressure. Back to a 4-point game. 4:25 to go.
What a night he's having.
Breakout game for the sophomore, no question about it. Averaging 10 points a game. Currently standing with 20.
Yeah, see now Valpo's opposite top is doing a better job of taking away this entry pass to the high post.
McConaughey up against Basila. Picorni over the top, gives it up to Ransom here. Ransom in the right wing at the volleyball line.
Yeah, and you wonder right now, is Chesterton just going to back out and take some air out of this thing and try to make Valpo come out of the zone?
Picorni gives up to Basila. Both guys jump, and he waits to just put it in. Urban with a timeout. Basila read the play perfectly. Two Valpo players jumping over the top to try to block the shot. Basila said, hold on a second, let me lay this in instead.
Yeah, McConaughey was looking for the volleyball spike there.
We're going to step aside. It's a full timeout. You're watching. Actually, you want to go full timeout, Zach? All right, we're going to step aside. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Have you heard? Stratford-Manteau was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Stratford-Manteau.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Welcome back to Game Night here on the Region Sports Network. 3:40 left to go. And we're going to crown a sectional champion here tonight. Valparaiso with the basketball. They'll go the full length of the court, right to left. And it's Jankowski matched up against Ransom. And are we going to have the defensive foul or the offensive foul? I believe it's going to be defensive, so this will be against Malachi Ransom. It's been chippy between those two, to say the least, as Jankowski tries to get down the floor.
Well, and Malachi's getting after him, trying to make him work, and Jankowski's handled it well.
He has, yeah. Kyrus in the game for Valparaiso. The freshman tipped away, and they're going to say it's a backcourt violation, that it was not tipped. All of Valparaiso now standing and saying that was tipped, and the only official who's going to comment on it, says, no, it was not a tipped ball. There have definitely been moments in this game, Wally, where both coaches have given the expression of very close to losing their minds.
Well,
you two coaches that do not hide their displeasure well.
Some philosophical differences, right?
This one almost dumped in. It's going to be out of bounds by Picorni as the shot was put up by Ransom. It was hitting the back post and almost dumped right in.
Yeah,
I will say, though, all three officials have done a great job of trying to keep the coaches' emotions in check.
Well, and they know it's a big game.
Yeah, and they don't want to kick anybody out and give technicals, and they don't want to make themselves part of the game. They're doing what they were supposed to be doing. Williams with it in the paint. Williams says no. We have a foul on the floor, so the bucket won't count, but Williams will go to the line. And Picorni is the one called for the foul.
Nice move in the post, though. He's got some quickness, Davon Williams.
Yeah, the 6'2 senior. Yeah, certainly. So I thought free throws. It was not in the act of shooting on the floor, so no free throws there for Chesterton. Only the third foul of the quarter. And question being had. Everybody's getting answers to questions. Our question is, who's going to be the sectional champion when we get this thing over? We got about 2:46 to find out. The freshman can't get the bucket to go underneath on the right block. Now Chesterton with it, coming left to right. Watts feeds it across the floor. Ray will back this one up.
So Chesterton's got what they want. They got him in man. Now they can go to their spread, work it back up the sideline. Jalen needs to get underneath TJ.
Ray getting around McConkey. Ray can't get it. Basila with the rebound up. The bucket doesn't fall, but there is a foul.
Huge rebound by Bradley. I don't know what TJ saw that told him, let's go to the rack against the 6'8 kid, but
surprise.
Basila does a nice job of seeing that action and then coming attacking and get the rebound.
Those are things that you can't teach. It just comes with experience of being able to and not everybody can do it. Just read the play ahead of time. Be 2 to 3 steps ahead of it. I don't care what sport you're talking about. Those are the best players that are able to do things like that. As Basila knocks down that free throw. 2:16 to go.
You know, when it's all said and done, it's a basketball game. You've played hundreds of them, right? So people start getting worried about the magnitude of the game instead of it's just playing a basketball game.
Correct. While it may have more emphasis, it's still the game you've been playing since you were a kid. Knocking down the second free throw, so it leads to an 8-point game with just over 2 minutes to go. Don't forget, we got award winners to hand out at the end of this one. Another foul away from the ball, and I think we're going to have a double foul here. It's going to be against Williams, and I believe it's against Watts. Yep, we just have a call of a double foul. And they've been kind of hand jiving at each other the whole time.
Yeah, they got warned on the last side inbounds play that nobody's doing it. I mean, they're just jockeying for position. When the official said something to them last time, they both looked at each other and laughed. I mean, there's no drama going on there. It's just trying to.
Yeah, it's not
I'm going to grab your shirt so you can't take off running.
Yeah, it's not malicious in any way. As Jankowski kicks it to the corner. Jankowski, who's having a great night, 20 points. Trying to add 2 more. Couldn't get it to go. The rebound on the floor. Kyrus, the freshman, travels with it.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure if while he was pivoting, he stepped on the baseline.
How about that? You're a freshman in a championship game like this, getting significant minutes, how much that helps your development over the next couple of years. The trust that Liskey has in the young man.
And we talked about that last night. There's not a lot of guys that play on the varsity basketball team at Valparaiso High School as a freshman, so obviously they see him every day. They think he's pretty good.
Yeah, not too shabby, as we'll keep it here on the full timeout taken by Valparaiso. Again, we got awards we're going to hand out at the conclusion of this game. We've got the Crowell Company's Lantern Man Superhero of the game. Proud to recognize the superheroes on the basketball court. We got the Boilermakers Local 374 Blue Collar Player of
About that last night. There's not a lot of guys that play.
We're going to hand out at the conclusion of this game. We've got the Crowell Company's Lanchard Man superhero of the game. Proud to recognize the superheroes on the basketball court. We got the Boilermakers Local 374 blue collar player of
Talked about that last night.
And this has absolutely been a great game here between Chesterton and Valpo. You said it earlier, when these two met back on February 20th, it was a rout for Chesterton, 75-33. It was not a rout tonight.
No.
I don't care what the final score says. This was not a rout by any stretch of the imagination.
Really good game.
Chesterton looking to get their 7th sectional championship in program history. First one back in 1955. They won it in 22 and 23 as most recent. Valparaiso looking for their 55th. They first won it in 1916. They had to beat Crown Point and LaPorte to get to the sectional championship. And it was beating Gary. I honestly don't know I haven't heard of this school until today.
Frable?
Frable, yeah. Thank you. Heard a lot of the Gary schools over the years. That was not one of them. As Ray gets this across the timeline, stops. Going to try to push this one out. The foul is going to be on Williams, and that will be his 4th, I believe.
TJ was looking for Bradley on the lob, didn't get it, probably did the smart thing, which is slam on the brakes and run a couple more seconds off.
For Williams, that is his 5th, so he has fouled out of the game. Jankowski says, hey, stay on the floor. You don't have to check out yet.
Kind of quietly here, but Silla's got himself up to 19 points. So Chesterton's got 54 points and 40 of them between TJ Ray and Bradley Basilla.
Well, you said 19. He's got 12 in this 4th quarter.
Yeah, Davon Williams has had a good sectional.
So coming into the game, Johnny Klumpy, excuse me.
Klumpy's a senior. Williams is a senior.
Free throw, no good for Ray. And again, we will keep you here for the net cutting ceremony for whomever wins sectional number 2 here this evening. And this one is knocked down by Ray. And Ray with 21 points on the evening. Reeves giving it up to Wagner. Goes underneath. Oh, what a block by Basilla. And we're going to have a technical on Basilla as he mouths something to Klumpy.
Well.
And that'll be his 5th foul. So he has fouled out of the game. He has fouled out of the game on a technical.
The worst thing about fouling out right now, he's got to go talk to Herb because Herb's hot.
Yeah, he's trying to avoid that bench as much as possible.
Yeah.
And he's like, we'll talk later. So the technical free throws will be shot by J.J. Jankowski. Knocks the first one down. He's had a pretty impressive night, to say the least. 22 points.
And handled tons of pressure all over him the entire game.
He has scored 12 in the second half. 12 points in the second half, 10 in the first. But that's a night for the sophomore, a standout night, no question about it. And what a time to do it in a sectional championship. And the experience that you get playing in this game for the full time, and even the freshmen getting to play. We're going to see some good battles here over the next couple of years, as we always do between these two schools. Give it to Klumpy. And he'll get in the scoring column.
Good for him.
Something that he's wanted, I'm sure, here on this night. The senior will have a timeout here with 16.6 seconds remaining. And it'll be a full timeout. We'll step aside for just a moment. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialists.
Headquartered in Griffith, Indiana, Absolute Power Systems has been delivering top-notch service since 2004, with a team of skilled technicians boasting extensive training on some of the biggest names in the business, like Cummins, Caterpillar, John Deere, Volvo, and more. They focus on providing exceptional industrial engine service and generator power system maintenance and repair. Check them out on the web at AbsolutePowerSystems.com. Absolute Power Systems, powering your business absolutely.
16.6 seconds away from crowning a sectional champion. TJ Ray inbounds, brings it across the timeline as he gets fouled by Klumpy. Now 14.1, 7-point game. It'll send Ray to the line to shoot 2, where he's had a pretty good night offensively for the Trojans. He is also at 22. With a chance to take 23, and he does.
Yeah, great first half. Kind of kept Chesterton in it when they were struggling a bit offensively in the first half. You know, he's one of those glue guys, you know, Steady Eddie, that shows up every day and passes and plays defense, and he's a capable scorer.
Stolen away. Chesterton going to pull this one out. Foul with 6.6. Yeah, it looked like Ransom was going to go for the basket, and Coach Urban was saying, hey, wait. The foul going to be on Klumpy. That is his second. It will send Ransom to the line. Chesterton is going to be looking to bring in, I'm going to borrow this, partner, sorry. Chesterton's going to bring in Crosby Moore, along with Ethan Virgil and Thomas Cospade, who we've seen earlier in the game as well. Picorni comes out. Schneider comes out. Hugs all around as Hewitt comes in as well. And the seniors for Valparaiso come off, and Liskey gives hugs as well.
Yeah, and it's got to be,
the hugs are a little different for Valpo, though.
Got to be neat for Tim Ray, you know, a varsity assistant coach. His son TJ is typical coach's kid, gym rat in there all the time. It's got to be neat to see your son get to climb up that ladder with a pair of scissors.
Jankowski gets another one, but the Chesterton Trojans are sectional champions once again. For the first time since 2023, Chesterton will raise a sectional trophy.
Well, and you know, obviously the game's been settled, and we're going to talk about that here in a minute. But it's all said and done, that, you know, unfortunately, one of the big stories of the night is we're all rooting for the injured Valparaiso player, and Valpo played hard today. They made it a game. You know, a lot of people thought after the way that the first game had went that this wasn't going to be a game, and their kids played hard. They defended. They competed. Jankowski, what a game he had today. You know, McConaughey has had a great sectional. Levon Redmond, really good over the course of the week. It's always tough to lose, especially the last one. But the nature of the game is somebody's gonna. Right?
Somebody's got to win. No question about it.
Did we get a final out of Crown Point yet?
Yes, Crown Point did beat Lake Central. It was like 55-52 or something like that.
All right, so we're not sure where the regional will be next week. Is that correct? But what we are sure about is that the Chesterton Trojans are going to be in that game playing against the Crown Point Bulldogs. Now, Crown Point handily beat them about a month ago.
As the student section comes out, and the younger fans get out there as well.
Yeah,
sectional champions.
Here's what I've noticed out of that melee right now. Several cell phones laying on the phone.
Yikes.
reality's going to set in that pile in a minute. Somebody's going to start looking for their phone.
The emotions, we talk about this every time we do a net cutting, and it still rings true without question. There's emotion. I mean, I see the emotion on some of these players' faces, and it's not just like a let's go. It's the hard work that has been put in.
Well,
I've never watched a Coach Urban practice. I imagine they are not, they're not fun. You know what I mean? And practices can be fun, and you're going to have fun practices, but they're work. And all that hard work that you put in, the sweat that goes into it when you make a minor mistake, and Coach Urban wants to, and the rest of the coaching staff, it's not just Coach Urban, it's all this coaching staff. Well, small mistake, they want to tweak it, right? I mean, you're from the coaching standpoint as well. You want to tweak those little things so that way you're here having this kind of a moment.
Well, here's the cool part about it is Coach Urban makes the older kids be such a big part of the little Trojan thing that all of these little kids know the varsity players by name. It's kind of like it used to be back in the old days where the little guys want to grow up and be Logan Pokorny when they go. The other thing that's cool here is, you think about it right now, I think Chesterton's got 3 seniors on the roster. Back when those 3 were in 7th grade, there was 21 guys on the team. So there's 18 of those guys that used to be basketball teammates with them that are in that pile right now, all just excited for their their classmates to
watching their friends, their teammates, knowing what they've done, what they've sacrificed. I mean, that's the thing about being a student athlete as well. You do sacrifice a lot. You don't go to this or you don't go to that because you got to go to practice or you got to go to bed early because you have a game tomorrow, and you want to make sure that you're doing all the things you need to do to make sure that you're helping get the W's to get to this point here tonight.
Well, and those numbers that you talked about earlier of the dominance that Valparaiso's had in this, historically, winning a sectional and winning it against Valpo is even bigger, right?
Yeah.
For these guys, because if you've grown up in this town and a lot of their parents went to school here or ironically went to school at Valparaiso, and so that's a big win. And now on to next week. So as coaches, they're going to be happy for about probably 15 minutes and then go in the room and break out the huddle and get some Crown Point film and try to figure out what they can do to give themselves an opportunity next week against the Dogs, because the Dogs are loaded.
No question about that. They defeated Lake Central earlier tonight. Those numbers that you were talking about that I mentioned earlier, Valparaiso, going all the way back to 1926. That's when these two teams first met in a sectional, in the IHSAA tournament. 1926, Valpo won 45-13. Since then, Valparaiso 43 and now 7. 43 and 7. They have gone 14-4 in those sectional championship games. An absolutely astounding dominance. But tonight, it's all about the Chesterton Trojans. They've changed that mark to 7. They changed that mark to 4. They've got that notch in their belt. They will hang a banner.
Well, and, it's obviously for Valparaiso's got 6 seniors on their roster. For them, it's for several of them, it's probably the last basketball game they're going to play in. I don't know. They may have some that are going on to play in college. And their parents, it's been a long journey from their days playing back at BF and TJ and the AAU basketball, whatever it was. It's a long journey that takes a lot of people to get them where they're here. And, you got at some point, you just got to feel privileged to get to play in a game like this. A lot of people in the gym, a game that a lot of people care about. And, you look at, I'm looking at these Valpo administrators and, their principals and people walking around. A lot of those guys are kids that I remember when they were playing at Valpo, when they were good athletes. And the same thing here at Chesterton, the two communities are, whether they want to admit it or not, they're tied together in a lot of things.
Well, and we mentioned this earlier, they play each other all. It's not like it's just during this basketball season or just right now. They played each other since they were the kids that are smaller run around the court right now.
And there's a chance it could be tomorrow at the boys' club.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're going to.
There's a lot of things that I thought we'd be listening to right now. Tina Turner was not one of them.
This is by request of Mr. McCormick over here.
I'm not a Tina Turner hater, but I didn't see it coming.
Wasn't your first choice?
No, I mean.
By the way, I want to mention we've got a great team and crew over here as well. Zach Zanelli's done a really great job with the production tonight. Thomas Marsh doing a great job on camera tonight as the boys continue to host the sectional championship. Michael Brander, Wally McCormick alongside, and just taking in these moments. And for some of these guys, yeah, it is simply the best. There's no question about it. A 9-point win here in the sectional championship. After we mentioned it before, I mean, the game in the regular season was a rout. I mean, it was Chesterton all the way from the get-go. And I didn't see the game. There could have been something, could have been a reason for that. You know, somebody could have been out, 2 players could have been out. Don't know the exact reason that are back here tonight. But this was a hard-fought battle, and obviously, you know, we're not forgetting the situation that happened in the third quarter. We're still hoping for good news that comes from that. But this will be a celebration here.
Gunnerello, what a year he's had. Tommy Cosfade, a sophomore, has played a lot of minutes, had to come in and guard some big people. Exciting for him as a sophomore. You know, I remember...
he's got to get a lesson. He's got to show... Coach Urban's got to show him where... He's a sophomore. He hasn't cut one of these nuts down yet in his career.
You know, a couple years back when they made the run to the state championship game and lost to Cathedral, I remember these net cutting ceremonies all the time, and Coach Urban brought his daughters who were just little kids then, and you know I have one of his daughters in class right now, and you know to see them get older, and I'm curious if he's going to throw them up there again today to get a little piece of the net. Ethan Virgil. See, Ethan knows how to do it. He gets up there, gets a smile, you know, he's getting a little photo opportunity.
Yeah, some of these guys are pros. Some of these guys have been, you know what? And, okay, so let's go back to we're commenting on the kids that are jumping around the court right now. They were watching this a couple years ago, right? Some of these guys that are cutting down nets right now were watching this just a handful of years ago as middle schoolers.
Absolutely.
Saying, I want to do this, and they were watching how it was done, and that's why they know how to do it.
Yeah, and it seems like such a long time ago, and it really wasn't. You know, Travis Grayson in the remarkable year that he had he's graduating from college now.
Yeah, we're getting old, my friend.
He was a substitute teacher at my school on Friday, so it was neat then. You know, as a parent, you're glad your kids get to experience, you know, your school having some success and things. It's, you know, I kind of equate it to what it must be like to be at IU right now.
Oh gosh, yes, that's a good comp.
You know, to the fall and winter that they experienced at Indiana University is, they're gonna remember that, and talk about that the rest of their lives. Like, and this is my buddy has a picture. My freshman year of college, Portage won the sectional and then won the regional and went to semi-state. And his dad's got a great picture of the entire gym filled with Portage kids while this net cutting was going on. And, you know, you look at that picture, and aside from how goofy people dressed in 1987.
What were you rocking back in the day?
I had a jean jacket on in the picture. Like, I don't know what my full drip was, but I had a jean jacket on and a mullet. But that poster's so cool to look at and think back about, you know, high school basketball means something to a lot of people.
Especially here in Indiana. Hoosier hysteria, no question about it. In 49 states, it's just a game. In Indiana, it's life here.
And I think back to aging myself, you know, to Steve Handlin and Jim Peters and John Mutka and Al Hamnick and those guys, and how amazing the newspapers were, the Times and the Post-Tribune, and their coverage of basketball and all high school sports. And I just can't read the newspaper on an iPad. I can't, like, I
print my articles.
That's how I started off my day for a whole lot of years. And
yeah, I still do that.
Because, it wasn't that long ago that the front of tomorrow's paper would be a Trojans win, or the Crown Point version would be the Crown Point or 21st or whoever's won today, because I don't know anything about that. But Logan Corning getting up now.
Yeah, we definitely have had some phenomenal individuals that have chronicled the great sports here in Northwest Indiana.
Well, and you just sit here in this gym and you look up at those jerseys on the wall that, Tyler Parrish being the last Indiana All-Star, graduating 2 years ago. When they were in middle school, Tyler Parrish and Travis Grayson were on the team. Like, they probably don't remember Zach Novak because they may have been born around then, and they surely don't remember Brett Busher and Matt Nover. But for those of us that do, and every gym in the area's got those those heroes that they put up. It's we were at Michigan City earlier in the year, and they were trying to bring Marion up on Saturday for a reunion of the 1960 something state championship team, and recognize the 85, 86, 87 team, and because of weather it didn't work out. But that's one of the cool things when you get athletic directors that grew up in the communities where they're working at now, is that they know a lot of that history, and they know older people who know more history, so you get to do some of that.
Yeah, I've noticed over the years, as I got a little bit more experience doing this job, you start to look at some of the coaches that are in the area, and it's like, oh, they went to the high school that they're currently coaching at.
Yeah, or you got our strength coach, Matt Wagner, climbing up, and he went to Valpo. Tim Ray, Chesterton graduated in, I want to say, 1993, played basketball at Ball State. Doubly cool for him as a coach and as a dad.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, just those,
little Herb, the littlest one.
But yeah, getting those moments and bringing people back who understand the program. And there's something to that, right? There's a little bit more of I want to make sure I bring this back. I want to bring this to this community as Coach Urban makes his way up.
Well, it's been 2 years, and in Herb's mind, that's 2 years too long.
Yeah. It's been amazing he's been here 10 years. It doesn't feel like that. And I remember covering him when he started here 10 years ago, and it was like, okay, year 2, year 3, this is his program now, and things are turning around. Where he has taken this Chesterton program, this community, in this basketball community, I could not have predicted.
Well, and I think that one of the things that Herb has done, and other coaches in the area do the same thing too, is that they've really improved their schedule. And he's put his teams and his kids in big gyms and neutral courts against a lot of the state's best, and they try to play the people down in Indianapolis and those things. And when you looked at the paper, or looked at John Harrell before the sectional, and it has record against sectional opponents. Chesterton was 4-0. Record against class, meaning 4A against 4A. Chesterton had played like 20 games, and some of the other teams in the sectional had only played like 8
single
or
digits,
10.
Yeah.
So, when you're young and you first start coaching, you think that every win is life or death, and as you get older, you realize sometimes it's okay to lose a game in the regular season.
Well, that's exactly what the way that the way that Indiana is formatted in terms of this IHSAA playoff, your record theoretically doesn't matter. It says something, but it doesn't matter, just because you can go 0-whatever and potentially be a state champion theoretically. You're not really going to do that, but you want to beef up your schedule. You want to have the toughest opponents potentially for this type of stuff. You want to play hard contests because you're only going to get tough competition the farther you get into the IHSAA tournament.
And you want to play programs that play the same style of the people you're going to see in the tournament.
Correct.
Right. When you go down to Indianapolis and you play in that the Noblesville tournament where you got the Westfields and the Carmels and the Fishers and those kind of people. And those are people that we keep reading about, right, playing in state championship games in every sport. But that's the kind of that's what they're going to play next week. You know, they're going to play a Crown Point Bulldog team next week that's got, you know, Shaw, who's potentially an Indiana All-Star. Mm-hmm. You got, they got two bigs, right? They're going to play with him, and they're going to play with Mulaski. They got the three guards that are good, the sophomore guard. I mean, they're such a good team.
And he's going to relish these moments, but he's going to relish that challenge. I'm sure he wants to get back at Crown Point. Like, hey, I know what we did wrong. I know what we need to fix. They're going to know what they need to fix, too.
Well, and sometimes when you get your head kicked in a game, it's very liberating because it makes you look at yourself and be honest about yourself of this is what we're good at, this is what we're not good at, and then we fight like heck to get better at the things that we struggle with, and then hope we get a chance. And maybe it'll be enough, you know, maybe it won't, but I'd rather be playing in that game and find out than have somebody tell me that has no part of the outcome.
Yeah, no question about it. We are sending Thomas Marsh on a mission to try to get Coach Urban up here to our broadcast location. We're going to try. No guarantees. Because obviously he is in the middle of celebrating. So
Herb's working a family photo right now.
Yes, so we're waiting patiently. And we'll try. No guarantees, as we said. But it's just, I mean, these are such special moments. You touched on the parents, too. You know, they're making sacrifices. They're doing things to get their kids to practice and missing things to get to games and those types of moments.
Well, how cool is this for Bradley Basilla? You know, about a year ago when he got here and spoke little to no English, was speaking French, and we got a French interpreter sitting on the bench for. You know, his game has improved a ton. He's only a sophomore, but this is neat to see.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. And he had quite the game. I didn't write down final stats, but definitely had himself quite the night as I believe Coach Urban making his way over here to chat with us for a little bit.
What up, y'all? Ooh.
Well, Coach, congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Wallace.
Attaboy.
You know Logan didn't start as a freshman.
He didn't?
No, you said it. You gave that out every game I watched, but I just let you know. I just let you get fail, man.
Well,
Appreciate you.
You should have started him.
You know, we had mentioned it's been a couple years since you've been able to cut down these nets, and we said, you know, it's been a couple years too many in your mind. But all these guys seem to know how to cut down those nets.
Oh, they struggled.
Well, we're going to pretend like they knew what they were doing.
No, I agree.
To the extent, when they were middle schoolers watching that a couple years ago, you've done a phenomenal job of incorporating the younger members of this program to build this. Now you get to, I mean, you're really seeing this fruition. What has that meant to you?
Yeah, no, I think it's when you, the one thing that's great about Chester in general is like it's a big school with a small town feel, and you know our student section was great. You know, all the kids that are in our feeder program sitting down there is that doesn't happen everywhere. And I think that, you know, we got guys like, you know, I remember taking a picture at semi-state with Logan, Caden, and Jalen, and I remember, you know, taking that picture in my mind. I was like, we gotta make sure we get that done for those guys. And those three seniors, their leadership throughout the season's been, you know, fantastic. But it's what you do it for, right? You chase winning. Past 2 years, we haven't got it done, and it's you just keep fighting. And, you know, to these kids' credit, our coaches' credit, just kept fighting, and we were able to get it done. And, you know, I can't be more proud of them. And to do it at home finally, you know, we've lost a few times here. So to do it at home was something we wanted to accomplish, too. But, no, I'm super excited.
How about the way TJ played today?
TJ was fantastic. I mean, he was, you know, as a kid that, you know, I think he was maybe in second, third grade when I got the job. And, you know, with Coach Ray on staff for the past 8 years, you know, you see him behind the bench. You see him here. Like Tracy my wife sent me a picture or a video of us winning at Portage in 22, and TJ's behind the bench, and he's jumping up and down all excited. You know, and for him to come out and play the way he did tonight, I couldn't be more proud of him.
You know, the other thing I thought about is, how about the experience for Bradley? You know,
say it again.
For Bradley.
Yeah, definitely.
What a difference in a year, huh?
Yeah, no, his I say this all the time. He's a super intelligent kid, and he's willing to listen. He's willing to work, and he just keeps getting better. And it's one of those things like all of our guys, like our guys probably could do a little bit more individually, but we got to make sure we do what fits to beat the teams that you have to beat to be able to cut down nets. And he was fantastic.
It's difficult. You got to win 3 games in a week, and I thought during the course of the week, Gunnar played some huge minutes, got a lot of rebounds. Jalen had Ransom competes the whole time. Like everybody did their part, and that's nice to see because, look at Valparaiso tonight. With 2 minutes to go in the game, McConaughey had no points, and Wagner had 2. Well, for us, Logan wasn't a big scorer tonight, but
right.
Somebody else picked up the slack, and we were able to win.
Yeah, I think that's we have a lot of depth. We have a lot of talent. And when we play unselfish and we play hard and just compete, guys make plays like that. Like, you're a coach, you see those things of like Tuesday night, Gunnar gets, extra possessions that led to a big 3. Jalen missed 2 threes, ends up getting an offensive rebound, goes scores against Maryville. Tonight I thought Malachi played really, really well and did a really good job defensively and made some good plays. So it's when you say it's a team effort, like it has to be a team effort with us. And I felt we did that, for 3 games because 3 games in a week's tough.
And there was times today against their 2-3 where you really did a nice job of getting it into the high post, which lifted their big, and then getting it down to the short corner where Bradley got some finishes. And
yep, no, for sure. And I probably should have got Logan in there earlier because he's really good in small areas like that. But it was we were getting some decent looks. We just weren't hitting. But I felt late we started getting a little bit more rhythm and got it moving and just were better basketball players and made the right reads. And Bradley obviously has the capability of finishing up top.
So I don't know if you've officially heard. Probably you didn't care during the game, but you got the Dogs next week, which they got us pretty good the first time that we played. But I'm sure you and your staff have spent a lot of time looking at film and your kids and know that there's a lot of things that we could be better at or that we'll have to be better at. So I'm sure for you and your coaches, hopefully you get to enjoy it today and then get to work on Crown Point tomorrow.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we've been obviously so focused on, you play Portage, Maryville, Valparaiso, and, all 3, good teams. And, Crown Point's, they're really good. I mean, they're extremely tough out. We're going to have our hands full, but we're going to enjoy this tonight, and then we're going to try to go piece something together, give us a chance on Saturday.
Well, and when you play defense like you guys play defense, sometimes you can live with the poor shooting night. Defense travels, and a lot of things went wrong the first time that we played Crown Point.
Yeah.
Well, on behalf of everybody, congratulations for winning. This is awesome. It's
so nice
that. I was just telling him that, they got 3 seniors on the roster, but there was 21 guys on that roster when they were in 7th grade.
No doubt.
And the other 18 are on the floor right now.
That's like, I can't tell you how much that means because that doesn't happen everywhere. The fact that, Rob, made a great decision because he's going to go be a great baseball player. But like we still text all the time. You got Peyton, you got Gus, you got Mike Rohn, you got, Gus, you got all these guys that have been a part of the program. You get to a point where it's done, but yet you've built such a good relationship through the years that they continue to support us and we're going to continue to support them. But I don't think that happens everywhere. So that's I'm glad you brought that up because that's cool.
And the cool part about it, I think, too, is the next 2 weeks at school, different, right? When you win this, everybody walks around with it, and especially beating the Vikes, right? That's got to be he was talking about historically the record between Chesterton and Valpo, and I never realized how one-sided that was.
Yep.
And then in recent history, it's been a little bit different, but for over the course of the last 70 years, that's a big win to beat the Vikes, and especially in the championship.
Yeah, one give Valpo a ton of credit. I mean, Ben, the way we played obviously really well, but for his kids to get his kids to rally and play the way they did tonight, that's full credit to him. I wish he wasn't such a nice guy because I really like Ben, and he's just a good person. Obviously, we hope that Naz is doing okay, and that's a tough situation no matter what. But no, you beating, yes sir, buddy. But beating Valpo anytime is always a big deal.
Well, and I think for both kids, for both teams, it's a challenge now because you're in full sweat. The game's pretty highly contested.
Yeah.
And now you got to sit for 20 minutes.
Yep.
So you got to give your kids some credit for being able to come back after that delay.
Yep.
And get it done and finish that quarter.
Definitely.
Because at the time
they made a bucket at the end there.
You
Yeah,
had
it's big.
5 fouls.
Yes.
And they only had 1, and
Yep.
to survive that quarter was
Yep.
big.
What do you say? What do you say to your players in that kind of situation with a long pause like that? How do you get these guys still fit? Because they're going to be thinking about that, right? How do you keep them in the?
Yeah, focus? I think honestly, it was like it obviously was a delay there, but I got about 8 minutes in. I'm like, I forgot what I just called, so I had to go remind myself what we were doing.
The board again.
Yeah, I'm like, you got to just kind of crank it back up, and it. Luckily, we played a minute there, even though they scored, but it allowed us to get back in that flow going into the fourth quarter there.
Yeah, well, we're sending our prayers that way, but we
Absolutely.
are congratulating you.
I appreciate that.
This program has come out. 10 years in, I watched you at the beginning, the infancy of this whole thing. I could not have imagined where it has excelled to. So kudos to you. It's been fun to watch. It's been fun to chronicle.
Yep.
And I continue success for as long as it goes.
Yeah.
We're wishing you all the best.
No, I appreciate that. And along with that is we have really good leadership in our school. Like Jeff Hamster and Tommy Berry, the way they ran this event tonight with the whole section, the whole week was first class. So we have good leadership in all of our spots, and when you have that, it allows you to do your job. And so I'm very appreciative of the fact that I have that support from our administration, athletic department, our superintendent, assistant superintendent, and it's what makes Chesterton a great place to be, and I love it here.
We appreciate your.
So for clarification, Logan was on the varsity as a freshman.
Yeah, he played. He didn't start playing until like January. Was
he hurt?
He was hurt. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, OG, and OG, Firm, Casper, Minnie.
That was the
yeah.
same.
Every time they text me, they listen. Like he didn't start, but no, he should have though.
Told me weeks ago.
I just let you keep failing. I appreciate you, brother.
I see how you
All
work.
right. Thanks,
Congratulations.
guys.
Thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
So, OG, if you're watching the game right now, sorry, I meant no disrespect. Minnie, you either. Firm, you're my hero. Chris Mullen, the legend. I take it all back.
All right. Well,
and Justin Sims, too. I can't forget Justin.
We're going to transition now to our awards. I don't know if you've had a chance to really think about those a whole lot. I can help you out with it if you want.
What do we got, player of the game?
All right, let's go. We'll go right into it here. We've got our Crowd Company's Lantern Man superhero of the game. The Crowd Company's proud to have offices open 9 to 7 Monday through Friday and Saturdays till 2 in Highland, Maryville, and Michigan City. Where do you want to go with that one?
Oh, to me, it's a no-brainer.
Okay.
And I got a great story about him. TJ Ray, like he said, coach's kid, gym rat. We play a faculty-student basketball game at the middle school that I work at. When TJ was an 8th grader, he got face-guarded and denied the entire game in a faculty game. And he was so mad after the game, and I talked to him, and I said, TJ, someday you're going to realize that was a compliment. So nice to see him do well in his last game in this gym. But he was tough today. Scored 20, right?
Yep.
20-ish. And if you're going to win a game, a lot of guys play good. And that's why I hate individual awards. But I thought, TJ really kept him in the game early, and good for him.
4 threes in that first half. I had him finish for 24, unofficial. But, yeah, TJ Ray having a phenomenal game. I think if you were to give a second or a runner-up to that, I think Bradley Basila would certainly be in that category as well. A lot of guys did phenomenal things tonight for this Chesterton Trojan team. All right, our Boilermakers Local 374 Blue Collar Player of the Game. Brought to you by Boilermakers Local 374. Earn while you learn with Boilermakers Local 374.
To me, that one's a no-brainer. That's Jankowski.
Yep.
What a game he had today. J.J. Jankowski, they got him listed as 6 foot. He's a sophomore, and he competed today. He led his team. He was aggressive in big situations. He wasn't afraid to take big shots. What a night he had, and what a future he's got as a Valparaiso Viking. And it's super cool for him. His family's a Valpo family. It's a
We're on camera.
Oh,
they put us on. No, I didn't realize that. I know we were when Coach Urban was on, but they kept us on here. Apparently, we got the faces for television. Apparently, I was always told I had the face for radio. So, but yeah, we're on there now. So yeah, no, I think that is the perfect candidate. I had him finish with about 24 Ish may have missed a free throw or two. But, yeah, so 24 unofficial numbers. Great game for Jankowski, the sophomore, so we'll get to see a couple more years of that continuing to develop. And had a great game like that in a sectional championship. What is that going to do for the Valparaiso program going forward? All right, we've got the Proud Union Home Play of the Game presented by Ironworkers Local 395. To find out how you can become a Union Ironworker, visit ironworkers395.com.
But to me, I think that when you watch good basketball teams and what they do at the end of quarters, right? And both teams, actually, I think Chesterton twice and Valpo once, were able to hold the ball, start something at 12 seconds, run a set play, and Logan Pokorny hit a three from the corner at the end of the first quarter, and I believe they did it again at the end of the second quarter. So that kind of late in the quarter execution, I don't know. It's hard to pick a play, right? I like dunks.
I was going to say I can go with the Basila dunk.
But I also like some of the blocks, that we had. We've seen some volleyball spikes this week out of those two Valpo post players.
Yeah, so plenty of opportunities. Do we have an official one you want to go with? We can go with the dunk.
All right, we'll take the dunk.
We'll go with the Bradley Basila dunk.
I don't know which one. He had a few, didn't he?
I know he was going for that one-handed monster jam that got denied. We'll go with the two-handed junk. I believe it was in the third quarter, early in the third quarter that happened. We'll go back and look at the feed, but it happened. We know it happened, and it was a big 2 points for Chesterton because there was kind of a, they were fighting the foul battle there a little bit and getting the calls against them and had to kind of put an exclamation point at that particular moment. And again, we'd like to remind everyone that tonight's video stream is powered by Absolute Power Systems in Griffith, providing exceptional service for industrial engines, pumps, and generator systems. For more info, visit AbsolutePowerSystems.com. Absolute Power Systems, powering your business. Absolutely. Our executive producer is Chris Ramirez. Our operations manager is Rich Castillo. Our coordinating producer is Zach Miller. And then our sports director is Mike DeWan. Our broadcaster tonight, myself, Michael Brenner, along with Wally McCormick. Always pleasure to be with you, partner. Zach Sinelli, I know he's not on the camera. He's perfectly hidden himself, but he's right here. Right there he is. Yeah, there he is. Poke your head out there. Zach Sinelli doing a phenomenal job on the production. And Thomas Marsh behind the camera doing a phenomenal job as well. There he is, doing a phenomenal job as well. Big thanks to Coach Ben Liskey and Mark Urban, the coaches for both teams, respectively, and thanks for Coach Urban for coming up here and chatting with us for a little bit. Of course, the athletic director, Stacey Adams, and Jeff Hamstra. Jeff Hamstra doing a phenomenal job in his crew and this phenomenal Chesterton crew for, they're giving, look at that. And we got it on camera. Wally getting a piece of the net for our tonight. Congratulations.
Well,
there you go.
From Bernie.
Well deserved. Fun stuff.
Bernie likes to watch the game.
All right, so you get to be part of the we'll zoom in on that. Go ahead and hold that up.
Oh, that is not deserved. I'm going to hand it to somebody on the way out of here.
Hand it to a kid.
Yep. There's one right there. Looks like he's got an empty hand.
All right, perfect. He's a man of the people. I love it. But again, Jeff Hamstra and the entire Chesterton administration and athletic department putting on a great week, thanking us for getting us everything we needed, so thank you very much. Of course, all the viewers on the IHSAA Champions Network, regionsports.com, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you may be tuning in from, we appreciate you tuning in. Without you, we wouldn't be able to do what we do, so thank you very much. Plenty more coverage coming up here on the Region Sports Network. We got to figure out where everyone's playing for regionals. We know that Chesterton will play Crown Point. Just don't know where exactly or what times. Probably have an idea, but we don't know 100% yet, so we'll figure all that out. But appreciate you tuning in to the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
This broadcast is made possible by Strachan Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. Ironworkers Local 395, proud to be Union. Four Seasons Mechanical, quality and comfort is our guarantee. Boilermakers Local 374, earn while you learn. IBEW Local 697, proud to support high school sports. Bricklayers Local 4, the best hands in the business. Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. The Right Group, the right way to buy and sell real estate. Mark Machnick, Chicagoland Tax Professionals. Blythe's Team Sports, where the athlete shops. And Hampton Inn, downtown Indianapolis.